Good morning and welcome to our 160th weekly webcast. If this is the first time you're joining us, welcome. If you've been with us before, welcome back. And so the way this call works is this is an AMA, meaning you can ask me anything. You can ask me business questions. You can ask me personal questions. You can ask me career questions, etc. And we're going to get started in about a minute. But what I want to do right now is quickly focus on my MBA degree program. Now, my MBA starts the next version for Gold and Platinum students on January 10th, 2022. And I have an early access code for all of you if you want to join. And so all you have to do is go to the link you see down there, which is harounventures.com/early access. And I'll go there with you. So when you go to harounventures.com/early access, as you can see in the bottom there, you end up in this page here. And I had an event yesterday with investors. And so this is a link for the MBA for investors or anybody that wants to join, meaning people interested in finance or sales and marketing strategy, getting a job and personal growth. And so this sale ends in 4 days. And I've got $500 off the gold version and $500 off the platinum version. And what all this means is the gold version, you get 300 hours of classes plus 200 hours, at least 200 hours of live Q&A after each topic in each class. Now, with the platinum version, you get whatever gold has, all that stuff, plus you get 9 one-on-one meetings with me. That's 3 hours worth of meetings, 20 minutes per meeting. And the meetings are every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday throughout the year. Now, the way it works with this program is it starts on December 10th, and there's 2 time zones. So time zone 1 is on Mondays and Tuesdays, starting January 10th. Mondays and Tuesdays, starting at 9 a.m. And then time zone 2 is also Mondays and Tuesdays, starting on January 10th at 4 p.m. And then on Thursdays, we have, for MBA students, only office hours. It's not this session here, it's another session. And again, the one-on-one meetings are every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for people that sign up for one-on-ones. Now, the way it works with Platinum is you get 9 one-on-one Zoom calls throughout the year. They're confidential. I don't disclose anything, and I'm your humble coach to do whatever it takes to help you take your career or your company to the next level. Now, if you sign up today, between today actually and 4 days from now, what you get is for Platinum, you get an additional 3 one-on-one calls. So that's 12 in total. Okay, this is for early access, and you save $500. Also, with Gold, if you sign up today or between today and 4 days from now, you get 3 Zoom calls. I've never given Zoom calls to anybody in Gold, but I'm doing it right now. So again, you got to reserve your spot today if you're interested. Spaces will be limited. And so the cost for Gold is this much here, and the cost for Platinum is this much. And the way it works is, this is a ridiculously good offer. There's a 30-day 100% money-back guarantee after we start. So that means that you get, if you pay today or the next couple days, you get 30 days to get your money back after we start. Now, we start January 10th. So that means that you'll get between today and February 10th, which is 98 days, to get your money back 100%. And the cost of my MBA program is less than the cost of 1 hour at traditional schools, including all the crazy fees you have to pay for apartments, books, and all that stuff. This is all included. And if you don't want to do the one-time payment of $1,000, which is $500 off for Gold, or $2,000, which is $500 off for Platinum, then what you can do is you can actually pay in 3 increments. And so once you go to upgrade now and pay, you'll see here, you can do a one-time payment of $1,000, or you can do 3 payments of $399. And with the Platinum version, similarly, there's a program also where you can do it 3 times. So you can do 1 payment of $2,000, or you can do 3 payments of $699. And again, you get 100% money back guarantee if you purchase between today and 4 days from now when this deal ends. And you get your money back all the way up to 30 days after we start in January 10th, meaning 98 days from today, which is February 10th. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. I'd love to have you join me. Again, there's a money-back guarantee. No other MBA school does that. And in terms of the cost of traditional MBA schools, it's egregious. So with traditional MBA schools, the cost is over $100,000. This is fake money, but you guys get the idea. And the problem with traditional MBA schools is they don't actually teach you stuff that you can use immediately in the real world. They don't teach you how to start a company. It's true. Ask anybody with an MBA. Did you learn how to write a business plan and start a company? No. Ask them, did you learn how to sell? No. Do you learn how to network? They don't teach that in school. Do you learn how to make an amazing LinkedIn profile, resume, and leverage social media to take your career or brand to the next level for free? No, they don't teach you that. And of course, using all these social media products are free. All this important stuff is not taught in traditional MBA schools. And I know because I have one. I went to Columbia University. I graduated with an MBA in finance in the year 2000. And I didn't learn practical stuff I could apply in the real world. They teach you how to manage other people's money, but not your own money. And so this is a great offer. Check it out. I'd love to have you join us. Again, you can go to this link right here. The offer expires really soon. I hope you enjoy it. And the student testimonials have been great as well. And if you're curious and you want to see a web class of me talking about some of the concepts in the program, you can go to my YouTube page right now. And at the very top there, the featured video is a video I did yesterday to teach people about the finance concepts in the MBA program. And in that video, I also teach you how to value companies using 3 different methodologies that bankers use. And I also teach you how to create financial statements from scratch. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Also, if you sign up for my MBA program in the next 4 days, you get my options course for free, okay, which is coming out very, very soon. It's the best course I've ever made. And you also get all new concepts and materials and videos that I add every year forever for free. And so when you get access to the MBA program, you can watch it live with me in classes starting January 10th, or you can watch the replays. You don't have to attend every class. And there's 100 classes that are 3 hours each, plus a couple hundred hours of Q&A. And with the 100 classes, after each class, there's actually a very short quiz. It takes you a couple minutes. And in order to get the MBA program to graduate and get the degree, all you have to do is get over 50% on half the quizzes, meaning 50 of the quizzes. And you don't have to complete it next year. You got the rest of your life to complete it. This is your MBA on your own terms. It's the most flexible MBA as well. In terms of accreditation, I will never do it. And here's why. If you do accreditation, first of all, I'm not a degree mill. I want to teach students stuff they're going to use to be successful in real life right away. But with a lot of these accredited firms that tell you your MBA program is accredited, they make you have a board of directors, and they tell you to teach bogus theoretical stuff you can't apply in the real world. Plus, I really do believe that universities are in secular decline. And I think what's going to happen is, by the time I move on from this wonderful planet, only 50 universities are going to be left. I think they're all going to go bankrupt because it doesn't make sense to pay $100,000 for a 2-year degree or $100,000 for even a 4-year undergraduate degree. It doesn't make any sense at all. You get 13 hours of class a week with these undergraduate degrees, and you don't learn skills you can apply in the real world. And so I think only 50 universities are going to make it. And the reason I say that is because people are going to say, well, I'm not going to waste $100,000 and 2 years of my life for an MBA or 4 years for undergrad, unless I can get into a great school like Oxford or Cambridge, which is all rigged, by the way, because legacies, you know what I'm talking about. If your parents went there, you got a better chance of getting it. It's not fair. And so I have this mission in life. I'm passionate about democratizing education, making it accessible to everybody. And so we'd love to have you all join us. If you have any questions about the MBA program, please let me know. And please check out this link right here in the next 4 days or so. Because that $500 offer plus the 3 additional one-on-one meetings with me in gold and platinum expires in 4 days. Okay. All right, let me get to your questions, folks, and give me 1 second here. I got a new setup here. All right. And if this is helpful, this weekly call, please like and subscribe. It'll help us out. Thank you. Okay. And I've got this, so my desk broke, So I can't do it doesn't move up and down anymore. So I bought this product on Amazon. It's amazing. It's great. It's good for my posture too. Yeah, and I'm wearing this little, you can't see it, but this little back brace thing that actually it's supposed to make my posture better. I'm trying to fix it. Yeah. So for those of you that have kids, if you see them on their iPhones or Android handsets going like this, like I did, I want you to tell them, pretend you have a grapefruit there. Yeah. So it's getting better, the posture. I'm trying to fix it. Always trying to move the goalpost out, as we say in Canada. Okay, let's get to the important stuff, which is your questions here. And thank you. Okay, first of all, I got Shockbrolo, who wrote, hi, Chris. Hey, good to see you. My sister has offer letters from Samsung and Morgan Stanley for the same role of software developer engineer with pretty much the same package. So how should she decide which company to choose? That's a great question. So what I would do is I would tell her, think about where you want to be in your career 10 years from now. If 10 years from now she wants to work in the technology sector, then it might make sense to take the Samsung offer. If 10 years from now she wants to transition to work in finance, then of course the Morgan Stanley offer makes sense, as Morgan Stanley is one of the best investment banks in history. So that's what I would say. Also, what you can do is, from a decision-making perspective, you can open up Microsoft Excel, and let me do this with you. Whenever you have a tough decision to make in life, so I like to use statistics to decide what to do next. And so what I'm going to do is, and part of my upcoming options course, I teach you normal probability and statistics and everything from scratch. But whenever you have a tough decision to make in life, what I recommend you do is you quantify it. If you qualify it only, meaning go with your gut with qualitative aspects of the decision, you might make the wrong decision. You got to quantify it, because without data, it's an opinion, nothing more. So here's how you do it. And I'll make this generic so it applies to everybody. Okay, so this one here is Morgan Stanley, okay, for your sister. And this one here is Samsung. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to score this. And again, you can use this for any decision you have in life, period. So what we're going to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write here criteria 1, which is salary. Okay. And then criteria 2, I'll have quality of life, meaning number of hours. Criteria 3, I'll put benefits. Criteria 4, fun, etc. And I'll keep this pretty simplistic and generic. And then what you do is you score out of 10 which one has the highest score. Don't just make four criteria. Make like 100 of them, because this is a big decision, right? So here's what you do. So you rank it out of 10. So salary, what's better? Morgan Stanley or Samsung? I spelled Samsung wrong, sorry. Well, I don't know what the offer is. Let's pretend Morgan Stanley is higher, because banks usually pay more. So out of 10, we'll make that a 7. Samsung will make a 4. Then quality of life. Well, where are you going to work more hours? Morgan Stanley or Samsung? Well, at Morgan Stanley, when there's a banking deal coming up or there are tech issues on a trading floor, people freak out and they work their tech teams way, way too hard. So out of 10, I'll make this a 2. I'm just making this up. On Samsung, let's say the quality of life is great. You work fewer hours, etc. 8. Benefits. Where do you get more benefits? Morgan Stanley they've got a lot of money. It's a big investment bank, and their benefits are usually pretty good. So I'll make that an 8 out of 10. Samsung, and I don't really know, but I'm making this up. Let's pretend it's 6. And we'll get to this aha moment in a second. In terms of fun, which firm has people you enjoy more? And I'll make this up as well. I'll say 2 here and then 9 here. So now we've got the criteria, and we're going to add up the score in a second. But I need to do one more quick thing here for you, okay? Let me make this a bit bigger so you guys can see it. More real estate here. So I'm going to set up the percentage here, okay? Meaning, how important is this on a scale of 1 to 10 for you? I know I spelled percent wrong. It's fine. So between 0 and 1. 1 means very important. 0 means not important at all. So salary. Let's say this is really important for her, but it's not the only thing in life that matters. So I'll say point 9. Okay, quality of life. Well, let's say that your sister wants to enjoy her life at a young age, and it's really important to her, but money's more important. So it's 0.7 out of 10. Give me a second, this will make sense, okay? Benefits, she doesn't have dependents. Let's pretend she's young, she's not married yet, etc. And so there's no daycare compensation for her kids. I'm making this up, of course. So it's not important. So point 2, fun. Well, she wants to enjoy the people she works with as well, and she thinks that the quality of people at both companies are great, and it's kind of important to her as well. I'm totally making this up. Okay, now what we do is we take the expected value and we add up a score, which will help us decide which path to take, the Morgan Stanley path or Samsung. Again, you can apply this in any aspect of your life. So here's what we're going to do. The score is going to be that times that, okay? Copy, paste. Samsung, we're going to do the same thing, okay? We're going to take the same percentage. That times the percent here, okay? Copy, paste, and then the winner is whatever has the highest score. So we do sum here, and then we do sum here. So it looks like Samsung wins. In this hypothetical example, maybe Morgan Stanley's a better place to work at, I don't know. It's a great firm, I love it. But anyway, that's how you decide. That's how you decide. So use this in all aspects of your life as well, because in business and when it comes to your career, if you don't have data to back it up, it's just a qualitative opinion and nothing more. Yeah. So hopefully this is helpful. All right, let me get now to your questions here. All right, next question is, what's your general overview of both companies, Samsung and Morgan Stanley? Yeah, it all depends on what you're most passionate about. Both are fantastic companies. If your sister wants to work in the tech sector longer term, Samsung might make more sense because on her resume, it looks like she worked at a tech firm. If she wants to transition into finance longer term and she's passionate about finance, then Morgan Stanley makes sense. And you don't have to start in the finance department at a big investment bank in order to get into finance. You can start in the mailroom, that's right. Or you can start in a tech department or some other department. And if you don't believe me, there's plenty of examples of very successful entrepreneurs and CEOs that started in the mailroom. The former CEO of Goldman Sachs, Sidney Weinberg, he started in the mailroom, no education, and he was CEO for a couple decades. You also have David Geffen, and there's a wonderful documentary on him on Netflix. You got to check it out. It's motivating. So he started out in the mailroom as well, and of course now he's a multi-billionaire. He owns that big company, DreamWorks, with Steven Spielberg and Katzenberg as well. Other people that started in the mailroom because they can network, and relationships are more important than product knowledge. And I teach how to network in my MBA program. But other people that started in the mailroom include Simon Cowell from American Idol. We also have the former editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan, as well as many other executives that have made it big. Just do a search on people that started in the mailroom. Yeah. And remember, business is about bonding first. Okay. Never go to a meeting in business and start talking about business. You want to bond for business always. Okay. All right. Next up, I've got Johanan. How are you? Looks like you're talking to Shockroll. Okay, cool. I won't read that one. Welcome. Sanyam saying, hi, Chris. I won't be in the full call live today, but I'll watch later. Thank you. Appreciate it. And my wonderful staff, what they do is within a couple hours of the call being done, they go to the description field and they have all the questions there so you can get immediate access to all the questions. And let me show you what that means, because some people asked me about this before. So if you go to my YouTube page here, okay, and you click on a video like this one here. This was yesterday's. Okay, so if you click on this, what you can do is you can scroll down, and then here in the description field, you've got clickable access to everything I talked about. So for example, if you want to learn more about getting accurate valuations or valuing a company, you can click any of these links here. Okay. And what I did yesterday, it was a lot of fun, is I used a lot of props as well. And I showed you how to model companies using bricks. It was fun. And then I gave you a template for free as well, and a free course. So if you watch that, you'll get a free course as well. It's listed there somewhere. I also introduced you to a bunch of my students here, which are great. Here we have Ginny from Vietnam. She just got a job. She's in my Platinum program. She's in Vietnam. She networked using LinkedIn like I taught her. And she just got a 3-year full-time job based in Australia. And she never met the person or went to Australia to interview. She got a 3-year full-time gig at one of the biggest banks there as an analyst. It's a great deal. We have here Peyton Kalawahea. So Peyton is in the U.S. Navy. He's in my Platinum program as well, graduating this year. And Peyton, he's made over $100,000 investing based on the stuff he's learned in the program and his own stuff, I'm sure, as well, of course. He's also gotten multiple job offers, and he started multiple companies. And Peyton actually was, I interviewed him on this webcast a couple weeks ago. You can check out the replay if you want. And then we have Christina, who is the leader in our class. She's amazing. She and her husband, Christian, are in the program. Christian works at Sony. He's a senior executive at PlayStation. He used to work at Electronic Arts as well. Christina inspires me so much. She's incredible. She's incredible. I have great students from all over the world. So check that out if you want to. Again, with any of my past weekly calls, you can go into the description field and click to get immediate access to the questions that are asked so I can save you time. Okay. All right, next up, I have got FR Cake wrote, "Hi all, how are you?" And then Senium said, may Lord Ram bless us all and guide us in our endeavors. And God bless you as well. All right, Kevin, how are you? Kevin's in my MBA program. Good to see you. Kevin says, good morning from Lakeland, Florida. Great to see you. Great to see you. Get some coffee. All right, next up, Majed wrote, hey, Chris, hope everything is okay with you. Is there a way to receive your investing blueprint, which you provide in your MBA students, without paying for the program, such as via the Udemy course? So in the MBA program, I've got... I provide you with, and I love using props to teach it, as many of you know. I provide you with mini tools or arrows in your quiver, so to speak. And so my goal is to help you work smarter and not harder. And so I've created a template for pretty much all major aspects of business, okay? Advanced templates and basic templates. And these templates are set up so I can help you achieve your goals, cheesy but fun. I can help you achieve your goals and give you a lot of arrows in your quiver, so to speak. So let me show you the template that I think you're referring to, which is available in my MBA program. All right, so it's this one here. This is just in my MBA program. It's called the Haroun Education Ventures Investment Research Dashboard. And what I do here, because I've worked on Wall Street at Goldman, I've worked in the hedge fund industry at Citadel, I've started my own hedge fund venture capital firm, and I've started a lot of companies. I take all that stuff that I've learned, and what I do is I teach you how to analyze a company from scratch. And I guarantee you this is the most thorough tool there is out there anywhere, and it's included in my MBA program. This is the most thorough tool to analyze any company. And so there's 100 steps here. And so there's qualitative research steps here, quantitative research steps, and a financial research progress or financial analysis here as well. And so as you go through all these steps, I ask you about 1,000 questions. And give me 1 second to make sure this is working. It's showing a browser. I'm such an idiot, guys. Sorry, hold on 1 second. All right, I'm going to start again here. Oh my God, that means you guys didn't see any of that spreadsheet before. Wow. All right, give me a second. The Morgan Stanley thing I talked about before was right here, okay, with your sister. I'm so sorry about that, guys. So with Morgan Stanley, what I did was I went through here the criteria: salary, 7 out of 10, quality of life, benefits, fun. Samsung, same thing here. And then here I took the percentage. Hopefully you saw that. I think that one worked, actually. I just think I clicked the wrong button for this one here. Let me go back here, the research dashboard. I'm pretty sure that one worked. Okay. So when it comes to the research dashboard, which is one of the many tools you get in my MBA program, you get 100 steps to analyze a company. This is one of the many frameworks. Okay, so here's qualitative frameworks, here's quantitative, and here's the financial ones here. And what you can do is you can navigate through it by clicking next. It runs through every single step. And there's a video on every single tab as well that will show you how to use that respective tab, right? And they're quite long and detailed as well, right? So everything is there for you, all the tools you need to write a report. Now, in this report also, I ask you 1,000 questions. And based on your 1,000 questions you answer, I create for you a dashboard. Okay, and there's no code in this. There's no macros. I don't believe in that because of vulnerabilities and security issues. But you get all these dashboards here. Okay, speaking of Samsung, yeah. And so this here is just dummy data for Tesla or Apple. I worked on both companies yesterday. You get bill of materials. You get everything you need to know about the company just by entering certain data, certain questions I ask you here. Then what happens is you get a one-page executive summary that comes out of it. And in this one-pager, what you can do is you can print it. Just hit Control P. It's already set up for you. You can print it as a one-pager or save it as a PDF. Okay, and it's all based on the 1,000 questions I ask you that we go through together in my MBA program. This is the most detailed investment research product out there in the market. And you go here to detailed report, and you can print out a 150-page version as well. So it's a lot of fun. I poured my heart into it. I promise you it will help you. That's why I have a money-back guarantee. What I've also got is, let me see here. I have got an option dashboard that's coming out soon. Yeah. So in my option course, so I have tons of frameworks I provide you with for every aspect of business: personal growth, interviewing, sales, marketing, finance, etc. Okay, and this will take a second to open. This is just a beta version. But in my option dashboard, this is me buying time. In my option dashboard, I teach you how to model and create 35 different option strategies. There you go. And if you don't have experience with options, I teach you everything from scratch as well. So let me show you what's coming in this framework, which will be included in my MBA degree program. So what we can do is I'll go back here to the main menu, and I'll show you what's in the program. Okay. So we start off with the basics here, and there's three major parts to it. So we start off with an introduction to options and what this means. And so when you're transacting in options, it's different from stocks, because with stocks is offensive, right? You're trying to make money by scoring a goal. But when it comes to options, you can buy calls, meaning you're offensive, or you can be defensive by buying puts, right? And this is the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm from Toronto. It's my favorite team. We don't win that often, but I love them. I'm there with them forever. You got puts as well, and I explain that. This is defensive, so you can make money by protecting your portfolio as well and make money when stocks go down. Of course, I teach you in a lot of detail as well how to short stocks and exactly what that means from a risk management perspective. So we start off with talking about the bigger picture of options. Okay. Then we discuss longs and shorts. Then we talk about option basics, how to price options from scratch. And then what we do is we actually go through and talk about statistics in a lot of detail. And then we value options using many different methodologies. So the problem with statistics is the way it's taught in school is really boring. I teach it to you from a casino perspective. And casinos are the best investors because they use risk management and they make money from small bets. Okay? And there's something called Monte Carlo simulation I teach as well in this course. So you got to go for singles and doubles when you're investing in options, and you can make a fortune in the long run. Don't go for home runs. But I teach you advanced risk management, and I teach you statistics as well in a fun way. I'm going to finally teach you how to learn statistics in a fun way. There's Greek variables as well when it comes to options, which is a lot of fun. And then we price the options as well. And when we price the options, what I've done is I create a report for you as well automatically. So what I'm going to do is I've got tons of ways to value options here with one option, two options here, four options, and three options as well. And so I try to visualize everything too. With Legos, it's fun. I teach you bullish strategies, bearish strategies, etc. Everything is linked together. And so when you go through this course, and everything is modularized as always with my spreadsheets, which is fun. Again, no code, no macros. But when you go through this, for example, you can create a leap, a put, any type of option strategy you want. And then at the bottom, you've actually got a report. Okay, and this report is set up here so you can completely customize it, right? So you can turn off and on things at the top of the report as well. And you can also print it or save it to PDF, right? So, and this is the most comprehensive thing I've ever created for my students. It's coming out soon, this month. And so when you print this report, for example, you can save as a PDF, or you can actually print it on one page. And you can put your name at the bottom as well. And I give you the option of taking that off in case you wanted to email this to potential, I don't know, investors or people you want to work for. All right, so it's a lot of fun. I share all my best practices as well. Again, this is the hardest thing I've ever worked on in my life. I've been working so hard all year long on it. You guys are going to absolutely love it, or your money back. Okay, so this is just another example of one of the many frameworks or tools that I provide you with. That's a married put. Yeah. Okay. All right, so I'm happy to take questions about options now too. Anything you guys want. You guys are the customer. I'm here to serve you, hosts. Okay. All right, next up I have got here. Let's see. Next up, Naman wrote, happy Diwali to all. Happy Diwali to you as well. Yeah. Okay. And Majed said, my second question is regarding Chegg Stock. So Chegg is a company, Chegg. Chegg is a company that's kind of in the online education market, but they sell used textbooks and digital version of textbooks as well. Not a big fan. Okay. You wrote, it got a massive hit the other day and sold off almost 50%. Can you kindly provide your opinion on this? Yeah, I did not watch the report. I've been bearish in the company for a while, though. There's certain things I can't say about the management team, too. But you can do a Google search, you'll see. Yeah. What usually happens is if a company misses earnings, usually the percent they miss earnings by is how much the stock gaps down. Okay. And the reason is because investors value companies usually using different methodologies like price to earnings. So if an investor at a hedge fund, and I've worked at hedge funds for years, if an investor at a hedge fund or a mutual fund, if in their financial model, which I teach you in my MBA program in a lot of detail, if an investor in their financial model, they're expecting earnings next year, for example, to be, I don't know, $1 in earnings, and they assign a 20 times multiple to that $1, their target price. Right, so their target price is based on 20 times that $1. And if the earnings that they just released were 50% worse, then that $1 goes down and gets cut in half. Okay, and the P multiple for the analyst stays the same, 20 times whatever the new number is. So it went down from $1, for example, to 50 cents in earnings. 20 times $1 is $20. 20 times 50 cents is $10. A gap of 50% down. So that's what happens. Whenever companies release their financial statements 4 times a year, analysts enter all that stuff into their financial model. If they see that their earnings expectations in their own financial model drops by a certain amount, that's usually how much the stock goes down as well, because they value the company based on a certain multiple of earnings in most cases. Okay. All right. Next up, Yakir wrote, hi, Chris. Hope all is well. Looks like another scammer got into your channel yesterday. Someone commented on your channel about a lifetime investment and a WhatsApp number. Please check. Sorry. It's frustrating, man. It happens. It happens. Yeah. There's only one scammer here. Okay. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. But it's happened to me before, and it happens with cryptos a lot too. And so what I did, if you go to my YouTube channel, if you search for, I don't know, I think it's a scam. What I did was there's a guy pretending to be me. I've talked a lot about scams in the past. Yeah, there's a guy that was pretending to be me, crypto scammer. Maybe it was crypto, but I published a blog about him actually, and I found out who he was, and I got the police involved as well, and we did some advanced forensics, and we found this guy. And what I did, it's here somewhere, Confronting a Crypto Scammer. Just search through, you'll see the video. I have so many videos here, it's crazy. But what I did was I found out where I pretended to be somebody else. Like I pretended like he's Chris Haroun, and I pretended I was somebody else. And I said, I'd love to learn more about whatever you're talking about. And I videoed this whole thing as well. Not his face and stuff, but I show you in the YouTube video. And so what I did was I told him, I'd love to invest, right? And he said, okay, great. Well, send this much crypto, Bitcoin in that example, to my public address. And I said, actually, I don't know how to do that. I don't even have a crypto wallet. So what I said was, well, I'd love to maybe send you a couple $1,000 and then wire it to you and you can invest for me. And he said, sure. Right. And then he asked, well, how much? And I know the anti-money laundering laws basically stimulate that if you send more than $10,000, you have to file a public report. And this guy was thinking that. So I said, I'll send you $9,500. And he said, sure. And he gave me his bank account. And what I did was I traced it to just outside Atlanta, Georgia, and we caught him. Yeah. And then I vlogged about it, and I confronted him as well. And you'll see it in the vlog. And I told him, I'm not going to press charges. But all I want is for you to please help people and never do this again. Yeah. There's lots of scammers out there. Yeah. Especially with cryptos. I think most cryptos are a scam. I love cryptos, okay? There's a handful of them I love, but it's a bubble. It's an absolute scam, a lot of them. Yeah, and I publicly disclosed for years which cryptos I've owned and I'll never sell. Now, I've been investing in crypto companies and cryptos since 2013. Those 4 cryptos I own are Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, or Ether on the Ethereum platform, as well as Ripple. And the founder of Ripple lives just around the corner from here. Yeah. All right. But if anybody sees somebody pretending to be me, just be careful. Yeah. Especially asking for through WhatsApp, asking for your bank account, etc. All right. All right. Next up, Mohammed wrote, hey, Chris, you mentioned before that the best way to raise money is through high net worth investors. My question is, where do I find them? What do I do? What do I tell them before we meet? Yeah. So in my MBA program, which you can check out here, it's on sale for a limited amount of time for early access for next year. What I do is I explain advanced networking skills to be able to get meetings with people. And I teach much more than what I've talked about in this weekly webcast. So if you want, you can check that out. But what I will say from a high level perspective is this. I want you to imagine, okay, I want you to imagine yourself 20 years from now, okay? And in 20 years, and all my questions are generic to apply to everybody, but in 20 years, you're way more successful than you are today. And this person reaches out to you who's 20 years younger, and they went to the same school as you. Maybe they're from the same hometown as you. And they remind you of yourself. And they say, please let me know if you have time for a quick coffee or a Zoom call. Now, I'm sure COVID won't be an issue in 20 years. God forbid. Please let me know if you have time for a quick coffee or a Zoom call. I'm also from the same hometown as you, went to the same school, etc. Would you take that meeting? Of course you would, because you want to help. And so you have to do the same thing. You got to reach out to people just like that. People with a lot of things in common with you, and you can do an advanced search in LinkedIn. You know, maybe somebody went to the same school as you, or somebody from the same hometown. People want to help you, man. All you got to do is ask. And you send them an in-mail. And the reason I say in-mail and not email is because most emails people don't open anymore. But every in-mail that you've received, I've received, and everybody in this call has received, we've opened and read. So you do an advanced search on LinkedIn, and you send them an in-mail. And you say, I'll make this up. Joanne, I'm also from Mississauga, and I also went to the Toronto French School. Those 2 things are true. Please let me know if you have time for a quick Zoom call or a meeting. Thanks. That's it. And yeah, not everyone's going to answer you, but I promise you, you will get a lot of responses and people will help you, because you only have to be right in business one time. It's like dating. You got to ask over and over again, or at least for me, I'd ask 8 billion times to get a date. You got to be relentless and just never give up. And whenever you hear no, in your mind, you tell yourself, all I heard was not yet. And if you talk to them and you don't hear a no, then you tell yourself, all I heard was not no. Now, right before the meeting, the way to prepare is you always go to their Twitter profile. And this works if you're meeting with a customer, somebody you're interviewing with, whatever. And you find out who they follow, okay, or what they follow. And if they follow, if they follow something that you're passionate about, like baseball, you can talk about baseball as well if you want to in that meeting. And sports is great boardroom talk. It could be cricket, Australian rules, football, whatever it is. But you always want to bond before business and just talk about what you have in common. Like, hey, that restaurant on campus is still open if you talked about a school you went to, that sort of thing. And then after about 10 minutes or so into that meeting, they're going to very politely say to you, why are we meeting? And that's when you talk about, you're interested in maybe changing careers or getting a job at a certain company. You just love their advice. And at the end, you always have to ask for the sale. Most people that go to meetings, they don't ask for the sale. It's bizarre. But at the end, you could say, thank you so much for your time. I'm very humbled to be able to meet with you, and I'm eternally grateful. Please let me know if your firm is hiring. And if they say no, which means not yet, then you can ask them. You say, well, is anybody else that also went to the Toronto French School or also from Mississauga that you know hiring as well, or I'd love to meet them as well. And they'll introduce you. But you got to remember, it's a numbers game, eh? It's like dating. You don't have to be right with dating one time. Donnie, thank you so much for that donation. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate that. Thank you. God bless you. I'll get to your question soon, I promise you. You just got to kind of ask over and over and over again. And when I used to teach live during classes at MBA universities and undergraduate universities in the Bay Area, I used to teach during the evenings years ago when I worked in BC. During the first class, and I always had massive class of like 70 people, I would ask my students, I would ask them on the first class, if I told you that if you set up 10 informational meetings in the next 10 weeks with people that you might want to work for, if I told you that you set up those 10 informational meetings in the next 10 weeks, you would be guaranteed to get your dream job, would you do it? And every hand goes up, of course. And then what happens is right before the final exam, 10 weeks later, which was easy, and my boss, Tom Thomas, great guy, he's the dean over at San Francisco State, one of the schools I taught at, he would always email me after a final exam and say, Chris, I'm seeing serious grade inflation here. And I would always tell him, but Tom, this is the best class I ever had. I was an easy teacher. It was fun for me. But right before the final exam, 10 weeks later, I would always ask my students, I would say, okay, great. How many of you did 10 informational meetings over the past 10 weeks? And no hands go up. How many did 9? No hands go up. How many did 8? 1 or 2 hands go up. And those hands, those 1 or 2 hands that went up that took 8 informational meetings over the past 10 weeks, they always get the job of their dreams, and they never have the top grades in the class. So the bottom line is, it's a numbers game. It's like dating. You got to ask over and over and over again, because one meeting, just like one presentation, can change your life. Yeah. All right. Next up I got Ryan. Hey, Ryan, how are you? Ryan wrote, hey, Chris, I'm starting a youth at risk project in Canada. Awesome. I love it. I used to work with Youth Without Shelter. Susan Arion was the head of that just outside of Toronto. I started a company called CICC.com in 97, and you can go to Internet Archives to look it up. CICC.com, and I did a lot of work with them for free, of course, to make their website for them. Yeah, good for you, man. Good for you. So I'm starting a youth at risk project in Canada focused on high-risk youth getting educated on the web-based skills to pursue a career in their space. I'm looking to acquire a major sponsorship, continued. How would you suggest that I go present this to the right brands? Yeah, well, first of all, if you want to sponsor for content, for courses, just send me an email, Ryan. I'll give you all of my courses, all my MBA programs for free forever for everybody involved in that Youth at Risk project. So just email support@harounventures.com and we can set up a one-on-one meeting, Zoom call, and we'll go from there. Free, of course, forever. In terms of how to raise money for it, what I would do, so a lot of big companies, they donate a ton of money, right? For some of them, it's superficial PR, but for others, they really, really care. And so what I would do is I would leverage, and you'll be in the MBA program as well for free. Just send me a message. But I would leverage the advanced networking concepts that I talked about earlier today, and the ones I go into much more detail about in my MBA program. Now, during the third semester in my MBA program, the third of 4 semesters, I have what's called a venture capital boot camp. Okay, and in the venture capital boot camp, and I've worked in VC for a long time. I've worked with venture capital boot camps. I've advised many Stanford MBA students in class when I guest lectured there, when I was on panels there many times. And so that venture capital boot camp in the third of 4 semesters of my program, you can learn more about it right here. What I do is I help you start your company. I help you write a business plan. I help you come up with a 10 PowerPoint slide deck or any application you want to use so you can raise money. So I go into much more detail of that in the program, which you're now a part of. Thank you. If you have time. Okay. But you can't get your money back. I'm just kidding. All right. And yeah, there's a 30-day 100% money back guarantee. You guys know that. Yeah. All right. The second I do all this stuff just for money is when I got to pack it in and quit. Your heart's got to be in the right place first. Yeah. Always. Yeah. All right. Because if you chase money, you lose your money and your dreams. But if you chase your dreams and you don't give a damn about what other people think of you and you're not focused only on money, then what happens is something beautiful. In the long run, your dreams come true and the money follows accidentally. It always does. You just got to be willing to fail a bunch as well. And this is obviously my favorite quote of all time from Michael Jordan. You know, Michael Jordan missed the game-winning shot 26 times. And he felt like a failure for that because of that. And speaking of number 26, Abraham Lincoln failed in 26 consecutive elections before he finally got elected to office. Yeah. You just got to be relentless and never give up. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up. All right. Next, let's see if I've got another question here. If I missed anybody in between, just paste it again because I know Ryan had a 2-part question. All right. Next up, Hashem wrote, "Hey Chris, hey. Can you please talk about the advantages and disadvantages of going public as a company?" So the question is, please discuss the advantages and disadvantages of going public as a company. Yeah. So it's a double-edged sword because when you go public, you raise a lot of money, which makes your employees money, and also you get a lot of capital in the IPO, and the use of proceeds is to grow your business. The disadvantage is this: because you're publicly traded, and you have to report earnings every quarter, companies want you to grow materially every single quarter. And so it makes you very, very short-term focused. And when you're very short-term focused, you can get sloppy with your long-term strategy. And so if you don't focus on the long game, you'll never make it big. You'll never put your dent in the universe. But the best companies to invest in are quite often the ones that the founders are running because they don't give a damn about what quarterly numbers are. So for example, Larry Page, who was the co-CEO at Google, of course, the co-founder. I have a good friend of mine who headed up investor relations back in 2004 when they went public. And I asked her, what's it like on the roadshow with Larry? And she said, Larry didn't want to give guidance or take that many meetings. And she was explaining to Larry, you have to tell Wall Street what your earnings are going to be next quarter or in the next year. And Larry said, why should I tell them that? That's their job, not mine. And so, Google, it's a great company. It's very ethical relative to other tech companies. And they just think differently, like Steve Jobs did. They're very, very long-term focused. And it's interesting because I remember the IPO roadshow for Google when they went public in 2004, fall of 2004. And in the fall of 2004, they were on the road and they were basically telling people our corporate strategies don't be evil, which is cool. But they're so long-term focused, they don't care about the short-term investors that are trying to figure out what the next quarter is going to be. And when they raise money, they raised $2.718 billion. And 2.718 is a magic number. It's the E exponent number as well. I can go there if you want me to. Use it for continuous compounding. Yeah. No, you got to be long-term focused. If you go public, you got to tell yourself, I'm going to be long-term focused. Otherwise, what happens is the board of directors will be unhappy with you if you don't make your quarterly numbers, and shareholders will be aggressive, and they'll be activist investors. They'll get a board seat like Carl Icahn does, and they'll fire you. Yeah. All right. But I did a vlog recently on the pros and cons of doing a SPAC versus an IPO. And if you want, what you can always do is you can always go to my website, which is harounventures.com. And at the very top, you can type in any question you have. I've answered more than 10,000 questions now, and they're all indexed here as well. So if you do a search here on SPAC, you'll see I talk about IPOs versus SPACs and much, much more. And also, if you do a search on, income statement, if you're in my MBA program, well, first of all, you see all the video answers I've done over the years here. But in my MBA program, you can click here, and if you're registered, it'll jump immediately to where you are in the program to learn more about that. Yeah, and I outsourced that to a German company called 360 Search. Okay, I outsource everything. All right, almost lost my coffee. All right, next up, Demian, who just upgraded from the silver program to platinum. Demian, great to see you, brother. And Demian lives in Barcelona with his wife and their daughter. Yeah. So Demian wrote, "Dear Chris, good morning. Good morning to you too. I hope you're well. I'm always great, thanks. And I hope you're doing well. Would you please tell me about your thoughts on the ARK ETF?" Yeah. I don't know anything about this, but I'll go there with you. We'll learn together. Okay. So before I go there, when it comes to ETFs, what I recommend doing is going to a website called etfdatabase.com, ETFDB. And what you can do, thank you so much, Ryan. You didn't have to donate. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. That'll go towards my schools I'm building. Thanks. But if you go to this website, ETFDB or etfdatabase.com, what you can do is you can screen for ETFs. And for those of you not familiar with ETFs, they're basically a collection of stocks that you can invest in with a very low fee because they're not actively managed, because they mirror an index. Like there's an ETF for the S&P called SPY. And so you can actually look by geography as well if you want to here. And let's say you want to invest in Brazil and you don't want to pick Brazilian stocks to invest in. We can click here and there's a Brazilian index called the EWZ, or EWZ as we say in Canada. And so you can click here to learn more about it and make sure the expense ratio is well under 1%. So for example, this is 0.59%, which means every year, if you put $100 into this EWZ ticker, every year you'll pay 59 pennies in fees, which is not bad, especially compared to mutual funds that are ripoff. Yeah. And so what you can do is you can learn about it. You can look at the holdings as well right here. And so it's a very natural resources rich economy. Petrobras is in here somewhere as well. Yeah, here it is, Petrobras right here. You can learn about it here. Now, when it comes to ARK, which I don't know anything about, I'm going to go here with you and I'll learn right now. So let's go to ARK. So the first thing you want to do is you want to check out the volume and then the fee and then the research after that. And the reason I say you check out the volume is because in the fall of 2008, a lot of hedge funds went belly up because they owned illiquid stocks. And they couldn't get out of them fast enough. And when they were selling them, they were dragging the prices down. And so illiquid stocks own you in a down market, not vice versa. So we'll kick it off by looking at the volume here. So the average volume is 5 million shares. 5 million shares times over 100. It's very liquid. You can get in and out within an hour easily. Great. Next up, we go to profile and we look at the expense fee. So I'm going to scroll down here and we see here the annual expense ratio. 0.75, pretty high. It's still under 1%, which is what I want to see, but kind of high. Then what I'll do is I'm going to go here and look at the holdings. Okay, so when it comes to breadth and depth of this portfolio, and these here are the 12 subsectors, or GICS codes, as they call it, of the S&P 500. So here it looks like it's technology heavy, communication services, cyclical as well. Interesting. Let's see. Okay, so it's all equities, no fixed income, meaning no bonds. So we look here, it's all tech stocks, and some of these tech stocks are classified as communications, like Zoom. So we got Tesla here, 10% of assets, Roku, Teladoc. Okay, so it's health tech as well. That's why we saw the health GICS column category above. Okay, Unity Software, Coinbase. Yeah, I mean it looks like a general tech heavy ETF. I mean you can invest instead if you want in the Qs. That's what the traders call it, QQQ, which represents the tech stocks in the NASDAQ. Okay, and the fees on this one will be much lower. I know for a fact liquidity is high in that one, so I'm not going to check the volume. But if we go to profile here, the expense ratio is a lot lower. You're going to save 50 cents for every $100 you invest. Okay, relative to ARK. And then we go to holdings. It's also tech. It's more probably Apple, Microsoft heavy than the rest. Yeah, Apple, Microsoft are the top two, but Tesla's here as well. Yeah. So I'd probably be more interested in this one than the other one because the fees are a lot lower as well. Yeah, way lower. Yeah. All right, let me go back to Wirecast. All right, fun. All right. Next question is from Demian, who wrote, "I'm very excited to start the live MBA Platinum version on January 10th. Thank you. It's going to be an extraordinary journey through the depths of understanding and knowledge with you. Thank you so much. And I learn a lot from my students. My students inspire me so much. Thank you. God bless you. Yeah. And for those of you interested in joining Demian, you can go here to this link here, harounventures.com/early access. We have a $500 off early access sale right now. Plus you get 3 additional one-on-one meetings with me, meaning you get 12 instead of 9 in the Platinum program. And in the Gold program, you get 3. Usually you get none. So it's an early access sale. Again, we start January 10th. Please check it out. Thank you. And if anybody has questions about the MBA, let me know as well. Yeah, thank you. And so Demi upgraded from silver. Thank you. Great to see you, buddy. All right, Harsh said, happy Diwali, Chris. Happy Diwali to you as well. Lots of love. Lots of love. Thank you. And Demian said, big hug from Barcelona. Big hug right back at you. Right back at you. Yeah. And don't forget to buy that jersey for Fernando Valenzuela. That's your last name, yeah? He was an icon, this Mexican pitcher. He was awesome in the early 80s in LA. Yeah. All right. And give me 1 second, guys. Hold on a second. Oops. All right. Next up, I've got Andre Rafer, who's also in my MBA program. How are you? Andre wrote, peace and blessings, Chris and everyone. My question is, concerning the financial statements, where can we find the drivers for that particular industry? Yeah. So you just have to know it from a high-level perspective. So I'll tell you what all of them are right now. So for example, when you look at the restaurant industry, the driver, meaning the one important thing to look at that drives everything in your model. In the restaurant industry, or the store industry, like companies like Lululemon or MCD McDonald's, the driver is what's called same-store sales, SSS. So you never give retail companies or restaurant companies credit for growing revenue a lot by just opening new stores. Because when you open new stores, the CapEx is quite high, the investment is high as well. It takes a lot of cash or debt or equity, whatever you issued to finance it. So what you look at instead is you look at how each store is growing organically. Organic means growth from within, meaning not acquired, not other companies. You look at organic growth. Okay, so how much does each store grow year over year? And this is the basis for all companies you look at as well. We love organic growth. We hate acquisitions because, yes, it makes it look like revenue goes up a bit. We want internally developed stuff. And so with same-store sales with McDonald's, for years they were growing. And then they stopped growing. It's just a big company. And so what happened was investors were upset. And so McDonald's, what they did was they started selling coffee at their restaurants, which increased the year-over-year growth of each store, same-store sales. And people loved it. And then a year or two later, the year-over-year comparisons got tough and there wasn't much growth. And so McDonald's started offering breakfast all day. Don't forget was it Happy Gilmore? Or no, it was Big Daddy with Adam Sandler. He goes to McDonald's at 11:01 and they won't give him breakfast. He gets mad. Now there's breakfast all day. Then a year or so after that, growth slowed again for McDonald's. And so in order to appeal to investors and increase the same-store sales growth, what they did was they started opening 24 hours a day, for people at like midnight or so. They wanted to, I don't do that stuff, but you know what I'm getting at. Yeah. So that's what they've done. And now what they're doing to get more traffic in the stores, and you see this mainly in Europe, is they have these computerized screens where you can order, right? So now they're cutting expenses to increase same-store sales growth as well, because more people order faster that way. Yeah. So that's the restaurant industry. When it comes to the hotel industry, companies like Marriott, ticker MAR, what you do is you look at RevPAR, and that means revenue per available room. Right? You don't give hotel companies credit for opening hotels. It costs a lot of money. You give them credit for growing the revenue of each room year over year. RevPAR, revenue per available room. Maybe it's something like internet access, that sort of thing. Yeah. Or, I don't know, mini bar. You know what I mean? When it comes to anything commodity-based, usually it's the price of the commodity. So if Barrick Gold, ticker ABX, if they're selling gold, which they do obviously, if the price of gold goes up, that's the biggest driver. For Exxon, ticker XOM, if the price of oil goes up, that's the biggest driver as well. And when it comes to a lot of technology companies, you look at what is called Dow and Mao. And so, and I have this also in this spreadsheet here. Yeah, you look at Dow and Mao, DAU and MAU. And let me actually show you the chart of it first. So Dow means daily active users, okay? And then Mao means monthly active users. Okay, we'll get there in a second. It's down here. Yeah. Here it is here, Dow and Mao. And so you look at the growth of daily active users year over year. So for example, with Facebook, and this is crazy, man. Facebook's so powerful. You can't avoid them. Or Meta, whatever you call that company now. But with Facebook, 40% of every people on this planet, 40% of all people on this planet use at least one Facebook app or one Meta app every single month. Okay? So that's monthly active users. You obviously want daily active users and monthly active users to grow for tech companies. Yeah. And there's other drivers for other sectors as well. If you're interested in other sectors I didn't tell you about, then just ask me here. Thanks. Okay. All right. All right, next up, Ali is saying, hey, Chris, if someone has a background in environment and natural resources management and decides to venture into finance in the Haroun MBA, what field of finance would you encourage them to explore? Yeah, so what I do is I expose you to everything, okay? So I really think like get my prop here. I feel like I'm a waiter, okay? Hopefully a half decent waiter. The food's good though. And this is where I proposed to my wife, Christine, in Paris. She said yes. Yeah, thank God. But as a waiter, I expose you to everything on the menu, like every type of business career there is in my program and every type of finance career there is in my program. Okay, like I give you lots of tools and I teach you what a day in the life is like as well. And you can pick the entree or career that you're most passionate about. And during our one-on-one meetings, if you purchase platinum, or even if you purchase gold, you get 3 one-on-ones if you go to this website in the next couple of days. But in our one-on-one meetings, I'll help you get there. I'll help you get the job of your dreams as well. I'll help you strategize, etc. But I want you to do what you're passionate about. And again, I expose you to many different arrows in your quiver or tools in your toolbox, etc. in the program like a waiter. So you can choose what you love most to do in life. Yeah. And you're never too young or too old to change careers. Yeah. I have some students that are 19. I have some students that are 70. You know, a lot that are in their 30s and 40s as well, from all over the world. Yeah. All right. Lionel's saying morning. Good morning to you as well. Hope you're doing well. All right. Next up, I've got Lionel wrote, can you go over reverse mergers and SPACs? Very common nowadays. Yeah. So when it comes to SPACs, best thing I'll tell you is just go to my website, which is harounventures.com. And what you can do when you're at my website or at the top of the MBA program, any course you're taking of mine, you'll see this. And just do a search on SPAC. And I talk about the differences between SPACs and IPOs. I like IPOs much, much better. And you can find out why here. Yeah. I even compare them to ICOs in that video. Yeah. All right. Next up, Sharif said, hey, Prof. Hello. Fellow Habibi here. Excellent. Habibi in the house. Very cool. Very cool. My dad is Egyptian. He immigrated from Egypt to Canada in 1967 by bribing an army official so he could fail his eye physical exam, so he didn't have to fight in that stupid war in 67. And my mom is, she's half Lebanese. So I'm 75% Habibi. Hello, Habibi. Welcome to the house of Haroun Habibi. Yeah. I've been putting the ha in Habibi since 1972. That's when I was born. All right. Sharif wrote here, I have an end of year reflection I need to draft for my manager's review. I work in a corporation. Would you please provide suggestions on the length, the tone, formatting, etc.? Thanks. Yeah. And I have plenty of frameworks I provide you with in my program as well that will help you with this, my MBA program. So what I would do is I would break it up into a couple of categories, make it simplistic. Category 1, what did we accomplish this year? Okay, we, teamwork, okay. Category 2, what are we going to accomplish next year? And category 3, challenges / opportunities. So again, what you accomplished this year, we, your team, what your team are going to accomplish next year, and issues. Okay, make it on one page. I love one-page write-ups, yeah, and your manager will as well. Yeah. And during that meeting, what I want you to do also is I want you to ask them, say humbly, what can I do to add more value to the company? If this is true, it's expensive to live here in the Bay Area or wherever you live. I'd love to provide the best standard of living for my children, my family as possible. And so I'd love to ask you, please let me know what I need to accomplish for our team here in order to get promoted or a raise. And then you'll document that, okay, during that meeting. And then, 6 months later, whatever it is, when you accomplish those items that your boss tells you need to accomplish to get a raise or a promotion, then when you accomplish those items and your boss congratulates you and gives you a high five, says great job, then immediately I want you to say thank you so much. You have time for a coffee. And if they're in a good mood, which they probably are, because I congratulate you, during that meeting I want you to ask them. You start off the meeting with, we as a team have accomplished a lot together. It's been great. And remember we met 6 months ago and we had that wonderful year-end review meeting where we talked about goals. And during that meeting I asked, what do I need to accomplish in order to get a promotion or a raise so I can provide the best standard of living for my family? And humbly, I've accomplished these, and thank you so much for the nice words. And I'd love to ask, please, if I can get that raise or promotion. And if you don't do that, and most people do it behind closed doors. Like if you work with people that get promoted a lot, and you're thinking to yourself, I don't get it. I do a better job than them. Why are they getting promoted? It's because behind closed doors with their manager, they're doing what I just said. They're asking for a promotion. And I promise you, your manager and the CEO of your company, they got to that level by asking over and over again to get promoted. You have to ask. Asking you'll receive. It's prophetic. It's been true since the beginning of time. You have to ask. Yeah. All right. Next up, Andre wrote, hey, Chris, I'm currently in the Silver MBA program. Thank you. And you wrote, I love it. Thank you. It's great to have you. And I'd love to have you upgrade as well. You get $500 off if you want to upgrade. Yeah. Thanks. And then you say, will the new program affect my Silver program once you update the program? Will I have access to the option program? Yeah, you'll have access. If you upgrade, you'll have access to Silver and the new stuff as well, all of it. And yes, you will get the option stuff for sure. And if you've written a number of quizzes as well, let's say you've completed 20 of the 100 quizzes in the MBA program, that will get transferred over as well when you upgrade. Yeah. Love to see you upgrade. Okay. Next up, Manas wrote, good morning, my dear mentor. Happy Diwali to you and your entire family. Likewise, lots of love right back to you and your family, buddy. Okay. And then Manas wrote, and to all of the United States and the world. And then you wrote, I'm really grateful for all of you. God bless you all. I can't join today as we're celebrating a Diwali. Okay. Oh, cool. That's probably why that number's a little bit lower today, which is cool. Okay, man. Have a great Diwali. If you're watching the replay, there's lots of love. Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right. And then Gohar wrote, hey, Chris, hope you're doing well. Likewise. And enjoying good health. I am. Thanks. Chris, what sort of Google Chrome extension do you use? Yeah. So I use TubeBuddy. But I don't use many of them because of viruses. The problem with Google Chrome, so if you're using Google Chrome on Windows, what I want you to do is hit Control-Delete, okay? And on a Mac, you can just go to Activity Monitor. The problem with Google Chrome is if you use older versions, there's lots of these little Google Chrome helpers, right? Actually, even the newer version here. You see this? And it's a memory suck. It's brutal. Am I showing that right? I'm showing the wrong screen again here, guys. I'm so sorry. Oh, no, I showed you the right screen, but I went to help about. It didn't show you that. But let me show you what that means here. Okay. So if you go to Activity Monitor, okay, on a Mac, or you do Control-Delete on Windows, you'll see here that if you sort by process name, and again, just go to the Task Manager in Windows, you'll see that there's tons of Google Chrome helpers, and these are memory sucks. And I'm such a nerd, but on this computer here, I've got 1.5 terabyte of RAM. I do a lot of video rendering and stuff. But if you have only like if you have a small RAM, 8 gigs or whatever it is, this will be a memory hog and it'll slow your computer down. And if it does, then use another browser, please. Don't use Google Chrome. A lot of people don't realize that the reason their computer is slow is because of Google Chrome, which is unfortunate. Now, in terms of and this time I'll do it the right way, go to the browser here, in terms of what I use when it comes to extensions. So I use Dropbox extension, this here as well, Honey, which PayPal bought for $4 billion, which is starting to drive me nuts. It's popping up a lot saying, hey, you can save money here. And I click, okay, save me money. And it says, oh, sorry, no coupons. So I'll probably get rid of it. TubeBuddy is one I use a lot. Okay, so TubeBuddy is basically a plugin for YouTube videos. So you can work smarter, not harder, when uploading your content. Dropbox as well, which sucks. They haven't innovated at all. I think the stock is below where it was when they went public as well. And then right here, I've got AdBlock. And AdBlock is popping up a lot lately, asking for money. Maybe I'll donate, I don't know, but it kind of defeats the purpose of having an ad blocker. WebEx extension, and that's basically it. I'm usually pretty careful with that stuff, yeah. All right. Next up, Akshay wrote, Dear Sir, Chris, please. Is this course dummies like me on how your curriculum will help me in investment banking in India? Yeah, so no, please don't say dummies like me at all. I start from scratch and I make it fun for anybody to understand. And speaking of dummies, I got a D in accounting first time I took it at McGill University because I was memorizing it. But then I had to take it again. I got a little bit better in a D and I understood it. And that helped my career a lot. And so I teach you from scratch how to understand finance and accounting from a global perspective. Okay, my MBA program is very global. It's not U.S. only focused at all. I invested in plenty of Indian companies as well. I invested in the Sensex, the index, many times. Satyam, Infosys, Wipro, also Crompton and Greaves, Tata Motor, etc. Yeah, so it's generic enough to apply to everybody. Yeah, and I have students in every country, so I make sure it's never too U.S. focused. Yeah, maybe Canadian focused, but I'm Canadian. All right. Next up, Marty. Hey, Marty, how are you? It's been a little while, man. Hope you're doing well. I remember your name. Yeah. So Marty wrote, hey, Chris, what is your take on the Shiba cryptocurrency? Will ever reach the highs of Dogecoin earlier this year? Is it worth holding? I've not done the research on it. Sorry. Yeah. But I get that question a bunch, especially lately. Yeah. Rose, how are you? Rose is one of my MBA students. She's great. She's from Virginia. She wrote, I'm having a hard time writing the business plan, deciding whether I should go to do freemium like Fortnite with revenue made through in-app purchases or freemium like Spotify, where basic features are free, but an upgrade to a premium subscription gives you access to more features. Yeah, and what you can do also, Rose, if you want, in MBA Office Hours for Gold and Platinum students, it starts every Thursday at 11:20 a.m., you can come on Zoom and share your business plan. I can look at it with you if you want to. And when you take and Rose graduated last year, when you take the Gold or Platinum program, you can rejoin any class you want to forever. You can also get access to Q&A, live Q&A with me, and the weekly for MBA students only office hours, which again is every Thursday after this call. Yeah. So if you want, you can ask me there, but I'll answer this from a generic perspective. Yeah. So the name of the game when it comes to apps or anything user-based for social media or B2C, it comes down to subscribers. That's all people care about. And I'll answer your question in a second. But for example, Evan Spiegel, who started Snapchat, I remember years ago, he came up to the Valley and he was trying to raise money. And he was explaining his business model. And these old VCs up here, a lot of the older people that don't get it, they looked at his business plan when they met with him. They said, I don't get it. Why would I want to take pictures of my kids and then have those pictures disappear? This is the worst business model ever. And then a year or two later, Evan came back, Evan Spiegel, the founder of Snapchat, to the same venture capital firms. And he's like, remember me. So since we last met, I've grown subscribers. We have over 6 million subscribers now, subs. And the same VCs were like, oh my God, that's the best business model I've ever heard of. So all that matters is the number of subscribers. You need to get big fast, grow quickly. And the way to get a lot of subscribers is to give your product away for free and make it so that the DAU and MAU, daily active users and monthly active users, grows quickly over the first couple of years or so. And if venture capital firms see that, they'll be willing to invest. And then kind of like the movie Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. Once you get a large, I think I got to split this on here. Once you get a large enough number of subscribers, you'll get a lot of investment from venture capital firms. And then once you get a mass number of subscribers, then you can start thinking about charging for some sort of premium service. So for me, the first 10% of all my courses, except my MBA program, are free. And so I get a lot of people that sign up for my courses by taking the first 10 lessons. And I also have a money-back guarantee, et cetera. Great customer service, I hope. Yeah. So get big as fast as you can, and then think about monetizing. If you want, you can upsell something as well within the app. I'm not familiar with your business model, Rose, but maybe you can sell a premium service like Spotify does, right? They give away the music for free, but you have to listen to annoying ads unless you pay. That sort of thing. So find a way to upsell. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up, 3 Rafi wrote, hey, Chris, in the future, which language is more important to learn, Chinese or English? Because here in the Asian region, Chinese gives you huge influence in the economy here. What is your wisdom about that? Yeah, and I remember I took Chinese, actually. I took Mandarin when I lived in Ottawa for a while, at the University of Ottawa during the evenings when I worked at Accenture in consulting. It's hard to learn, man. It's tough. It's not impossible to learn, but I think the best way to do is to start when you're very, very young. It's hard. And even with Japanese, like I speak hardly any Japanese. I used to work in Japanese equities at Goldman. And when I would go to Japan, I meet with executives. As long as you try to be respectful and you learn enough to get by, they respect it a lot. The Japanese businessmen did, for example, business people. So, for example, whenever we exchanged business cards, I would say hajime mashite, and then make sure I treated the business card like gold. You never put it in your pocket. That's not nice. But I would study the cross-cultural differences, and I recommend you do the same as well. But long run, I don't know. It's hard. I would say both are important. Yeah. But depending on where you live, maybe Mandarin is more important for you because you live in Asia there. Yeah. But I would say they're both important. Yeah. All right. Next up, Donnie, thank you so much for that donation. You didn't have to do that. God bless you, though. Thank you. I'll go right to my schools. Yeah. Not the not-for-profit schools, to charity. My wife's name is Charity. Okay, I've gone the entire day without a dad joke. Dad joke, for those who are not familiar, means a joke that's just not funny. Like my kids cringe. And my kids are at the age now where I have to drop them off a block away from the party for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. No, but thank you. Can you explain fundamental analysis of cryptocurrencies? Yeah. The donations will go, of course, to Project Magoo, which is the school we're building in Rwanda. Thank you. So can you explain fundamental analysis on cryptocurrency? It's hard for me to do that. Tell you what, just send me a message to support@harounventures.com, and I'll give you my crypto course for free. Because what I do in that is I go through a lot of detail to recreate an S1 IPO filing. Let me show you what that means. So when companies go public, and I invested in Facebook when it was private years ago in my venture capital fund. But when companies go public, what happens is by law, they have to create what's called an S1 document. And an S1 document basically is created by investment bankers, investment bankers and lawyers. And they list every single risk about the company, right? So they list all the risks about the company and everything you need to know about the company as well. That tag in the back of my shirt's driving me crazy. That's okay. I'll be fine. Every single risk about the company, right? And everything you need to know about the company from an investment research perspective. They have to do that by law. And the problem with cryptocurrencies is that cryptocurrencies are regulated by the laws of mathematics and not by governments. And so there's no investment offering memorandum or S1, so to speak. And give me 1 second. I'm going to point. And I remember the time, 9:19, because this is what YouTubers do. They point, and that becomes their thumbnail. So there we go. I remember that. Okay. But what happens is because they're not regulated by governments, you don't have to write an investment offering memorandum before you invest. And don't ever invest in anything without asking for an investment offering memorandum. Okay. And so what I do is I teach you in my crypto course and in my MBA course in much more detail and much more updated. How to do an analysis of 49 steps to analyze a crypto. And what happens is I create for you in that process an S1 document, so to speak, for cryptos, so you can do your own due diligence. So thank you for the donation. I appreciate that, Donnie. I'll remember your name, but just email support@harounventures.com and I'll send you a free copy of my course. And thank you. All right. Every time I do that, my marketing team cringes. That's okay. All right. All right. Next up, Anurag wrote, "Hey Chris, it's Diwali festival here in India. Wishing you and the whole community an auspicious day. Thank you very much." And you wrote the whole HBS community, and I think you meant Haroun Business School. 2/3 of HBS is BS, though, right? Harvard Business School, not Haroun Business School. No, thank you. God bless you. I appreciate it. Lots of love back to you as well. All right, and actually, I say, are there subtitles in your course? Absolutely. There's advanced subtitles, actually. So, and I paid top dollar. I invested over $1 million in the program. I'm all in, and it's been great. So if you go to my program, let's say you search for something here. So I'll search for the word stock, and this will just get me to my program. Okay. So if you go to my program and you play it, what happens is you see closed captions, advanced closed captions. So I'll show you. So if I play a lecture here, you see that down the corner CC, my face might be covering it up a little bit, but as you play it, and it might be slow because I've got I'm running a couple things at the same time here in the background. But in the bottom corner, you type on CC, and you can search the video. Okay, and this is everything I'm talking about in this lecture. I'm talking about Jim Rogers and commodities. But if you search, for example, I don't know, gold might be in this video, and you click here, it'll jump directly to where I talk about that. So right here, we're at 24 seconds. Watch that. I'm going to click here. It takes us to 8 minutes in when I talk about gold again. So I've got advanced closed captions added. And I work with this firm closely called Rev.com to do this. And I do this with a lot of my YouTube videos as well. And so I've got it this way. And I even have foreign subtitles in a lot of my courses that I invested a lot of money into do, but it was a great investment, great return investment, yeah. All right. All right, next up, I have got E. Pronto, who's from Toronto. I remember that. And I'm from Mississauga, which is just outside of Toronto. I'm a 905er. You're probably area code 416. So E. Pronto wrote, "Hey, Chris, on the topic of networking, yesterday I received a call from the past, somebody I hung out with but lost connections with 25 years ago. I must admit it was creepy, but in a good way. Yeah. What did this person want? They probably wanted something, right? Yeah. You should respond with, you have my attention. What is that I can help you with? Yeah. All right. And I miss Tim Horton donuts, man, in Canada. Tim Horton's coffee is the best. Yeah. All right. Next up, we got, and by the way, Tim Horton, so Starbucks in America has 40% market share. Tim Hortons in Canada has over 70% market share. It's unbelievable. It's a national pride thing too. And they make Timbits, little donut holes that are so good. Their bagels rock, by the way. I love it. Yeah. All right. Donnie wrote, also, I could use help with getting back into the job world. I was fired controversially last year. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's happened to me too. It's happened to everybody. And sometimes what happens is you get treated poorly or unfairly in business and in life. And you just got to have faith and have a positive attitude about it somehow. And it might not make sense to you right now, but many years from now, it might make a lot more sense. And you might be grateful to God that you were guided down a different path. Don't worry. Yeah, it all works out. And some of the most successful people in the world have been fired. Michael Bloomberg was fired, and the way he got his revenge was he got fired from Merrill Lynch. The way he got his revenge on Farrell Stench is he started Bloomberg. And he's a billionaire now. He's the mayor of New York, etc. Yeah. A little bit too lefty for me, but yeah. But don't worry. Yeah. And then you wrote, I was fired controversially last year, and I've gotten by cryptocurrency investing. Okay, cool. I guess I'm afraid to deal with all the BS in job hunts, and I have a fear of failure. Yeah. If you want, sign up for my MBA program, dude, because it's what I do, and you get a money-back guarantee for the next 98 days. Right, it's 30 days after we start the guarantee, which means we start January 10th, and we finish on February 10th. So sign up for the program, get one-on-ones with me, and then ask for your money back if you want. I promise you I'll help you. I'll walk through walls for you. And I'll help you to run to your fears in business. Yeah. And I teach my students to take their biggest sense of fear in business, their biggest sense of joy. I condition you to learn business and use a lot of the tools or arrows in your quiver, so to speak, a lot of my frameworks, so you can run circles around the competition. Yeah. Okay. Next up, Noman. And I always smile when I see your name because I remember I had a client that worked years ago in Toronto named Noman Ali. And he worked at Manulife. Great guy. Yeah. Canadian company, Manulife. A lot of people don't realize that. So Noman wrote, hey, Chris, good to see you. Likewise. Some crypto bot company claims that their algorithms can make money return of 5 to 20% both in bull and bear markets. What are your thoughts and risks involved in this? If it worked, you wouldn't know about it. If it worked, they'd be running this machine and making billions. So if it worked, it would be as elusive and as successful as Renaissance Technologies. Okay, and so Renaissance Technologies is by a guy named Jim Simmons, and I've logged on this. I think we index it as well. And so what he does is this guy, Jim Simmons at Renaissance, it's a hedge fund, is he has a massive algorithm that has generated average returns of over 60% on a gross basis. Yes, since the 1980s. And the way he's done it is he's got this big algorithm. Okay, and let me see, hedge fund maybe. Let's see here. He's got this algorithm, and what it does is the algorithm actually it actually picks stocks for you based on input. So, for example, if it's raining a lot, then his algorithm, which basically is a couple thousand Linux servers running in parallel, his algorithm, if it's raining a lot, will take the weather input through their API, whatever, and short restaurant stocks because people don't go to eat a lot of times when it's raining, lunch and stuff. But you can search through here. It's somewhere in here. Let me see here. Renaissance, and dude, I can't spell at all, and I don't have a spell check thing here as well. But I did do a video on this as well. I can't remember if we did it here. Oh, here it is. Here, this is here. Sorry. So I was right before. Renaissance Technologies. Oh my, yeah. See, I missed the S, dude. My search engine is so good, it can accommodate idiots like me. Okay, this absent-minded professor. But right here, I did a vlog on him, the #1 hedge fund in the world. Okay, Renaissance Technologies, and I explained how he does it as well. Okay, so that's him. He was a mathematician as well. He worked for the NSA, like a lot of mathematicians do or did. And even the dude that created SHA-256, which is the essence of cryptocurrency security for Bitcoin and other cryptos, worked at the NSA as well. And so did Jim Simmons, right? And I talk about mathematics and probabilities, which is going to be in my, I think I was underexposed that day, yeah, which is going to be in my options course soon. I make it fun and easy to understand. So check out this this video here if you want to learn more about that. But I'm 99.9% sure whatever company it is that approached you or person about cryptos, making 5 to 20%, whatever it is a scam. Be careful. And sometimes what they do is they seduce you by telling you, yeah, we make 20 to 50% every month. Why don't you invest? And so you put in a small amount, like $100, and you're like, oh my God, this is great. And you ask for your money back, and you get like $150 back. And then you're like, oh man, I'm going to put 10 grand in, and you never see them again. Happens all the time. Yeah, I'm 99% sure that that's a scam. Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Ryan. Ryan wrote, wow, Chris, thank you so much. I'm truly grateful. I will send that email to support right away. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, and yeah, I'll take care of you, man. God bless you. Yeah, I worked with that charity, Youth Without Shelter, in Toronto years ago. I don't know if it's still there. If so, say hi to Susan, who runs it. I created their website and many other websites for free. But yeah, all your students get access to all my courses and MBA programs for free forever. It's why I do this. Thanks. Yeah. And the profits I make, a lot of profits go towards building schools as well. It's my life mission. Yeah, it's getting chilly in here now. I usually don't wear something this heavy on these calls. Yeah. All right. Next up, and by the way, Ryan, it might take me a couple days to get back to you. I'm really backlogged, but I promise you I'll take care of you. Yeah. Okay. Next up, Cyrus wrote, Chris, I'm your new MBA student. Awesome. Welcome to the family. I'm your new MBA student. I need to improve my networking skills and crypto investing skills. Does the MBA program include those? Yes, absolutely. A lot of that. Yeah. And I'm continuing to add tons of new content that you'll get for free forever. There's no subscription fee after you buy. You get more stuff forever. Yeah. Yeah. And then you wrote, also, I'm looking forward to your new options trading class. Yeah, it's great. And in the MBA program, I'm adding it to class number 89. right? And so if anybody's watching this that took the MBA program in the past, silver, gold, platinum, previous years, whatever, you'll get an email and I'll tell you exactly where to access all the new content once I'm done with it. And I'm working very, very hard on it right now. And I'm getting to the point now where, so Salvador Dali, he was this brilliant kind of crazy painter from Barcelona. He said, if you strive for perfection, you'll never reach it. And so I'm getting to the point now where I'm like, I'm just going to get it out. And what Reid Hoffman said, who's a co-founder of LinkedIn, he's a partner at a venture capital firm called Greylock. He said, if you release your product when it's 100% ready, you've missed the market. It's too late. So I'm just going to put it out, and we're going to see how it does. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And options is really, really tough to explain. Like when I was at Columbia University doing my MBA in finance, I humbly got the top grade in my class in options. But it was so theoretical, it's bogus. And I finally learned about options when I worked at Citadel and other hedge funds as well. And I'm explaining it in such a way where I use a lot of props, bricks, etc. We build on it one brick at a time so that you will remember all of it and you'll love it. I've never worked this hard in anything in my life. And I've worked hard on my entire life. Yeah. You'll love it. You'll love it. Yeah. Or your money back. Okay. All right. All right, next up. And next year, I'm adding a lot of new stuff as well, like more advanced real estate stuff, real estate investing, commercial and residential real estate investing. I bought a couple of buildings in London, Ontario, Southern Ontario, where I was born, London. And I'm going to probably fly out there and do a bunch of videos to explain the whole concept of investing in real estate. It'll be fun. And I'm going to be adding negotiation, so I get a lot of questions on that. And then eventually I'm going to be adding programming as well. I used to be a programmer. I spent years programming when I worked at Accenture back in the 90s. So I'm going to teach all of you programming as well. But I'm going to teach it in a fun way and an intuitive way and better than anybody else teaches it. Humbly. I'll try. Yeah. Whenever I set up new goals, and this might sound a little bit out there, but coming from me, it's probably not a surprise. But whenever I set out with new goals in life, I feel like I'm standing on the edge. Like I love challenging myself. And I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff and I throw a bunch of airplane parts out. Then I jump. And I have to assemble the airplane before I land. And that's what I felt like when I launched the MBA, was it 2 years ago, whatever. So, yeah. But it's been great. And I love that sort of challenge, yeah. But I got to tell you, if I was a quota-carrying sales rep at a company, I'd probably get fired a lot. Because I set ridiculous goals. And James Cameron, the wonderful director, writer, producer of Avatar, and Avatar 2 is coming out next year, and Titanic, he said, he's Canadian too, he said, if you set your goals really, really high and you fail, you still fail above everyone else's expectations. Yeah. Yeah. And I walk through walls for my students. I will do whatever it takes to make you successful, or I failed, and I won't fail you. And so I'd love to have you guys join. You can get early access here, $500 off. We start January 10th. There's only a certain number of seats. And you also get, in addition to $500 off, if you buy the next 4 days, you also get 3 additional one-on-one meetings with me. Yeah. All right. Next up, I've got Isa. How are you, Isa? Good to see you. Isa, I had a really good friend who's from Syria named Isa years ago. Isa wrote, hi, I'm a high school student wanting to study chemistry at Target University in the United Kingdom to get into investment banking. Are there any tips you have for me? Any great podcasts? Yeah. I don't think there's any great podcasts. And the other day, somebody asked me, yesterday I did this massive finance webcast as well on investing. And you can go to YouTube and watch replay of it if you want to. Somebody asked me about great books, etc. There's nothing really out there because everything is so theoretical. If you want to read a book about theory when it comes to finance, you can read a book by Damodaran. And whenever I'm in the office of somebody more successful than me, which is every office I visit, I always look at their bookshelf to see what books they have. And, a lot of older executives still buy books instead of digital versions. And so I worked for this guy. I worked at Citadel years ago, big hedge fund. And I was in Ken Griffin, who's the billionaire founder's office, and I was talking to him for 30 or 40 minutes about something. video game stocks, actually, which is fun. He was a gamer too. I looked at his shelf, and he had books by Damodaran. And Damodaran is a professor at NYU in finance. So if you want, you could check that stuff out if you want to. Or if you want to learn about finance faster, easier, and in a more fun way, then sign up for my MBA degree. And we have a lot of people that have MBAs from top schools that have taken my program. And they say that they learn more after 1 month than they did their entire MBA program. And they use a lot of my frameworks in business today. And we're entering our 3rd year of doing this now. It's been fun. All right. Hey, Ryan, thank you so much for that. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. Yeah. So Ryan wrote, thank you so much, Chris. I do not know what to say in response to the great offer and feedback. Please accept this small token of my appreciation. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. It says CA Canadian money. I miss Canadian money. Yeah. Especially the Canadian $5 bill. It's got Leonard Nimoy on it. Do you guys know that? So in Canada, we put Leonard Nimoy on the $5 bill. $5 bill, Canada, Star Trek. I'll show you. He's on our $5 bill. Images. Here it is. Here it is right here. Okay. The old one. Here it is here. See? We have Spock on our $5 bill in Canada. Yeah. There he is. This is Spock with a goatee. We had another version of the Canadian dollar bill that they put on with Spock. Yeah, because there we go. Spock is Canadian. Yeah. That's what it looks like without Spock's hair on it. And that bad dude from Harry Potter, my kids watch that. It looks like him as well. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Next up, Alex P. Always reminds me of Alex P. Keaton, fellow Canadian, Michael J. Fox. People used to say that I was like Alex Keaton when I was younger. I was this young Republican in Canada. I love Ronald Reagan. And finally, I came to the States, my dream to work in New York City and then Silicon Valley. And I'm like, great, I can vote now. So I guess I'll vote Republican. No, I don't know who to vote for. So I go Republican sometimes, I go to Democrat sometimes. It's a tough call. Yeah. All right. So Alex P. wrote, hey, Chris, do you ever wish there was a second language you would have learned for your business career? If yes, what would that language have been? Without a doubt, Mandarin. Without a doubt. And I tried during the evenings to learn it. It's so hard. They even teach you how to put your tongue in a different location in your mouth and whatnot. And they kept, it's like Japanese. There are certain sounds that I just can't do it right. I tried. I used to work in Japanese equities and Japanese IPOs years ago on was it 9432? That was NTT, and 9437 NTT Docomo. And I tried to learn Japanese. And then we worked on this deal for this company called Rakuten, which you've heard of. And I met with Mikitani-san. He's the brilliant founder of Rakuten. And I kept saying Rakuten. And in Japan, people would say to me, they're like, I'm sorry, what is that? I'd say Rakuten. They'd say, what? I say Rakuten. And they're like, Rakuten. I just can't, I'm just not smart enough to be able to do it properly. But I probably learned Mandarin. Yeah. Start as young as you can. All right. And I'm learning a little bit of Korean by watching Squid Games. No. I'm on episode 6 now. It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. It's intense. Yeah. All right. Next up, Corey wrote, hey, Chris, can you create 2 MBA sections by year? Even the second can be part-time replays. Yeah, if you want just the on-demand version, you can sign up for Silver if you want to and start today. Yeah. But I'm just doing January 10th. Yeah. It's too hard for me otherwise, man. Yeah. I have a very patient wife and kids as well. Initially, I wanted to do classes on Saturdays. And then Christine, my wife, put her foot down. She's like, no, we're not going to see you, dude. She doesn't say dude, but you know what I mean. That's why we have classes Mondays and Tuesdays in 2 time zones. Time zone 1 for Monday and Tuesday is 9 a.m. San Francisco time. And then time zone 2 is 4 p.m. San Francisco time. And then we have one-on-one meetings Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and MBA office hours for gold and platinum students only every Thursday as well, after this call. All right. Next up, Gaurav wrote, hi, Chris. I've invested in Tesla. I'm worried about its high PE. Yeah. I own Tesla. I have for years. I'm with you. But what you got to do is, and I teach you about this in my MBA program, what you have to do is you have to value companies based on your earnings estimates in 10 years. And so if a stock looks expensive today on a PE basis, based on earnings this year and next year, so what? You have to value it off of your earnings estimates in 10 years. And so the price divided by earnings multiple based on your earnings in 10 years might be a heck of a lot lower. And that's how I made most of my money in stocks, is thinking long-term like that. Yeah. And also, and I teach you just a ton of ways to research companies. And as I showed earlier, one of the frameworks I go through in the MBA program, there's tons of them, is this one here to analyze companies. And when you do investment research from a quantitative perspective, it's about modeling. But from a qualitative perspective, you got to look at the company, you got to look at various frameworks, etc. And from a high-level perspective, you always have to ask yourself this basic question before you start doing the research. In 5 years, is this company or the sector it's in going to be more relevant or less relevant than it is today? And that will kind of help you see the forest from the trees, and it'll help you to not get seduced by value traps. Investing in tech stocks that are cheap. They're cheap for a reason, because in 99.9% of the time cases, whenever tech companies start becoming a little bit less relevant, it's game over. Yeah. And only one turnaround works in tech every decade or so. Yeah. You got to think long term always when you value these companies. Yeah. Based on your own estimates. Yeah. And then Rose wrote, "Thanks so much." And Rose is one of my platinum students from last year. She wrote, "Thanks so much. I'll join MBA Office Hours." And MBA Office Hours today for gold and platinum students starts at 11:20. I'll join MBA Office Hours to get more specific feedback on my business plan. I think you're right that we have to do free with upselling is best. Yeah, absolutely. And anybody that joins my MBA program last year, this year, next year, you can come back to classes anytime you want. You have unlimited access to me through all the 200 hours or so of Q&A I do, plus the weekly office hours as well. I'm here to support all my students forever. Yeah. And there's a limited number of spots, so please sign up today. Yeah. Go to that web address. Yeah. All right. Okay. Next up, I've got Alex P. Alex wrote, "Do you think the standard resume is in secular decline?" I think so. Yeah. You wrote, "I heard a sports podcast that people are using different mediums like TikTok or other platforms. What are your thoughts?" Yeah, I think a resume is still important because a lot of people that are hiring are much older and they understand the resume process. And in my MBA program, I teach you how to create the Harvard Business School resume setup, which basically means education, work experience, personal. So older executives still use it, but I really do think that LinkedIn is going to replace that. Kind of like people still use business cards, which doesn't really make sense. So no, I think it is going to secular decline. Absolutely, yeah. In terms of video resumes and stuff, so LinkedIn is trying to do that. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but on LinkedIn, when you go to your own personal settings and you click on your picture, it says, "Do you want to put a little video as well?" And if you do that, the video is set up in portrait mode, okay, not landscape. So you can introduce yourself. And everybody is trying to copy TikTok. Even YouTube with YouTube stories, they're trying to copy TikTok as well. I don't think we're there yet because LinkedIn really hasn't had that much success with the video side of it yet. But I'm watching it closely. Yeah. And by the way, if any social media platforms are become more relevant in the long run, even ones that don't exist today, I'll add it to my MBA program. And it's so interesting because I look at my kids and my children actually. I get a picture here of my kids. My kids, their jobs. Here they are. Here, my three boys. Their jobs have not been invented yet, and the way they communicate with their friends or business colleagues in the future has not been invented yet. And so, whatever these new technologies are, I'll be adding. From a social media perspective to the MBA program. So the MBA program is always up to date at no additional cost for my students. Again, check it out here. Would love to have you register. There's no risk. You get your money back up until February 10th if you buy in the next 4 days. Yeah, which is 98 days from today. Yeah. All right. Okay, and Ayush wrote, happy Diwali, everyone, as well, with a heart. Lots of love. Thank you. You too. Okay, President Scroob, how are you? Good to see you today. El Presidente wrote, hey, Chris, is the options course going to be available as a single class purchase? Yeah, it will be a much smaller version. Yeah, but in the MBA program, my intent is to make it much more detailed. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. All right, Richard wrote, oops, lost it. Give me 1 second, guys. Richard wrote, the guy is great. Already have a lot of his courses. Thank you. Looking forward to the options course. Awesome. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah. Okay. And Patrick, good to see you. Patrick, it's been a while, dude. Great to see you. Patrick said happy to be here. I think it's been at least a year. I hope you've been well, man. Hope you're well. Great to see you as always. Welcome back. Rahul wrote, hi, sir. Chris, please. When will you be launching the complete options course? It's coming this month. This month, yeah. And I like your logo, double R. Yeah, it's very cool for your first name, last name. Very cool. All right. And then Patrick wrote here, I listened to your podcast yesterday. Thank you. Appreciate it. You discussed revenue as the basis for forecasting the cost items in the income statement. What do we use in the balance sheet forecast? Total assets or revenue? Yeah. It's so hard to forecast a balance sheet. It really is. But the best way to think about it is with an income statement, earnings, which is the bottom line of the income statement, earnings and cash flow are the same thing in the long run. That's the best way to think about it. It's really hard. But as you generate more cash every year from your income statement, it goes onto your balance sheet, right? And based on what percentage of revenue you're financing, meaning allowing people to use credit cards or loans, etc., that will impact how you create your balance sheet. And I talk about that in much more detail in my MBA program. Yeah. But I would focus mainly, especially for early stage companies, focus mainly on the income statement. Yeah. Yeah. And if somebody gives you an income statement and a balance sheet, mathematically, you can use Excel to automatically create the cash flow statement. Yeah. Okay. And then Cyrus wrote, Chris, I can coach you on Mandarin for free. Thank you. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. God bless you. All right. Next up, Mighty Men wrote, do you have a payment plan on sale on top of the sale? I can only afford $700. Yeah. So I've got, if you go here, and I'll take you here. Let's go here to browser. All right. So if you go to harounventures.com, at the bottom I've got early access. What you can do is, if you click here on gold or platinum, what you can do is you can pay a one-time fee, or you can do 3 payments of $399. Yeah, and there's a 100% money back guarantee, as you all know, and that guarantee is good until 98 days from now, which is February 10th, which is 30 days after we start, which is January 10th. Yeah. Okay. Next up, Huey wrote, Chris, hi Chris, what do you think financial advisor career for an introvert? Yeah, it's tough because a financial advisor, like most jobs in all of finance, most jobs are sales jobs. Like 80% of the employees at Goldman Sachs are salespeople. And so you have to learn basic sales skills. And I teach you a lot about that in my MBA program. Yeah. Now, when it comes to working as a financial advisor or PWM, private wealth management as they call it, or private banking even, relationships are more important than anything because it's a game of trying to amass assets, collect assets, right? And you got to get a lot of clients. You got to go to golf courses, to events, network, yada, yada, yada. It's really important. And don't worry, if you feel like you're an introvert, like don't worry. You could break out of that if you want to. You know, I used to be an introvert as well. And I remember back in the 1990s, I was a programmer. And I remember working crazy hours, and I loved it. Programming, it was so much fun. And I would be in this zone coding, 10 hours would go by, I wouldn't even realize it. I loved it. It was like a puzzle. It's like a video game. And then I would go to parties at night with my buddies. And I'd feel kind of nervous around people. And what I did was I forced myself to run towards my fears. And I teach you how to run towards your fears in all aspects of business and embrace and enjoy your fears so they become your biggest competitive weapon you have. But I would run towards my fear and force myself to go to talk to people. And at first it was uncomfortable, but after a while it's like, whatever. You get used to it. Yeah. So I want you to run towards your fears. But if you want to work in sales or private wealth management, you're going to have to really deal with that. And I teach you how in my MBA program, or we can do one-on-one coaching in my gold or platinum program as well, if you want, and I can help you with that. Okay. All right. And give me 1 second. All right. Next up, Tao. Hey, Tao, how are you? Tao is one of my amazing students. She's from Vietnam originally. She moved to the United States. She lived in Kansas with her husband, Brett, and they just moved to Chicago. She works as a data analyst. She's awesome. She's actually got her own TikTok channel she started. So check it out, guys, if you want. It's my favorite TikTok channel. So she just started, and she's got well over 1,000 followers. Let me turn the volume down that one. But what you do is go to TikTok. She's one of my MBA students. And you go to fishing with BNT. BNT stands for Brett, N for Ant, Tao. Yeah, and so she's great. She's got tons of video, over 1,000 followers. She just got started. It's fun. And what happens is whenever they catch a fish, and she and her husband Brett love fishing. Whenever they catch a fish, they show it. It's exciting too. It's neat. Yeah. You inspire me, Tao. So Tao wrote, "Hey Chris, hope you're having a great week so far. Likewise. Hi everyone. I'm a student in his MBA program, and I can tell you this is the best investment I've ever had. Chris is the best teacher. Thank you. I appreciate that. God bless you for that. Thank you. The check is in the mail. Thank you for that. I pay all my students to say nice things. No, I'm kidding. No, I appreciate that. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. And I hope your move to Chicago went well. Thank you. And say hi to Brett for me, please. All right, next up, Patrick wrote, I've been well, Chris. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah. And then Patrick said, can you discuss the impact of fintech and techfin on investment banking? Yeah. So there's two sectors that haven't really seen that much innovation when it comes to tech, healthcare and finance. And the reason why these two sectors haven't seen that much innovation relative to other sectors is because there's a lot of government regulation. And that's starting to change. And so there's a ton of health tech startups now, especially given COVID. And fintech is something that is pretty near my heart because I worked in that market for years, and there's a lot of government deregulation going on in that market as well. And so the largest fintech investment company on the planet is Citi Ventures. So Citi Ventures is run by Vanessa Colella. She's great. I've met with her a number of times here in Palo Alto. And so they invest a ton of money, Citi Ventures, in startups, fintech, meaning any company that leverages technology to help the finance industry make more money or save more money even. Yeah. So check out that. I used to be on the board, advisory board at a massive incubation firm here called Plug and Play Tech Center. I was on the fintech advisory board, and I helped to select companies, et cetera, to invest in. I've done a ton of fintech investing as well in companies like Palantir, which focuses primarily on banks now as their clients, and tons of other software companies. And the big banks, they all have their own strategic venture capital division where they invest in startups as well. So I recommend getting in contact with them if you're interested, or you can contact Saeed Amidi, who's a billionaire Persian immigrant. Great story. Came to America knowing nothing, and he owned a carpet store. And he basically had nothing when he arrived, right? So he owned this carpet store downtown Palo Alto, sorry. And there was this guy upstairs that couldn't pay rent. And Saeed was a really patient guy. He's a nice guy. He's a wonderful person. And so the guy upstairs brought his business partner downstairs and said, we can't pay rent. I'm so sorry. Do you want us to leave? Do you want to evict us? And Saeed said, don't worry about it. Just whatever company you're doing, just give me shares in it. That was Elon Musk. And that was Peter Thiel. And that was PayPal. And so what Saeed did, see if you give, you receive. What Saeed did was he took that money and he started investing. And he networked a lot. When he would go to people's houses to install the Persian carpets, he would network, just get to know them. and he was like one of the first investors in Dropbox and tons of other companies as well. But he runs this big fintech accelerator. And so if you want to get sponsored by him, by Plug and Play Tech Center, they can give you money and train you for 3 months as well as part of their accelerator. It's kind of like a Y Combinator, YC they call it, incubator firm, or 500 startups or Techstars in Colorado. Yeah. There you go. All right. Okay, cool. And then Tao wrote here, hi, Chris. Can you talk about the Udemy IPO last week? I think there's probably a conflict of interest because that's one of my revenue sources, so it wouldn't be fair for me to talk about it. Yeah. But I do think that in ed tech, in education technology, Udemy is Google and everybody else is Bing. Yeah. Who uses Bing anyway? Unless you work at Microsoft. Yeah. All right. Next up, who you wrote, I appreciate it. Thanks, you're most welcome. Is the MBA program the same as an entire MBA in one course on Udemy? No, it's different. Yeah. So an entire MBA in one course is a 7.5 hour long course. And it's just a high level overview of the life cycle of a company. And I talk about various business topics. And that one's done well. That one has generated well over 7 figures in net profits, humbly. And my courses have generated over 10 million. It's been great. Which has allowed me to make this MBA program and to donate lots of money to educational charities around the world and build schools, etc. So my program, my Haroun Education Ventures MBA Degree Program, you can access it there. It's over 300 hours long. It's all brand new content. And if you take the gold and platinum version, it's over 500 hours. You don't have to watch all of it. You just watch whatever you're most passionate about. We start January 10th. So if you want, you could check it out. You go to the link you see at the bottom there, which is, harounventures.com. Okay. And then harounventures.com, early access. You can see the link at the bottom there. And it will take you to this page here. Okay. And for the next 4 days, I have the sale on, which is $500 off for gold and platinum. And as I mentioned before, you get your money back if you buy today in the next couple of days, all the way up until 30 days after we start, which is February 10th. So you've got 98 days to get your money back. There's nothing to lose everything in the game. Spots are limited, especially for platinum. Yeah. And so if you want, you can go here and buy the program. There's also a payment plan as well. So if we buy the gold version here, you get 3 payments of this amount. Yeah. Yeah. And this one-time special, I'm giving 3 additional Zoom one-on-one calls with anybody that signs up. So gold doesn't usually get one-on-one calls. I'm giving you 3 for free if you sign up in the next 4 days. Okay. And with platinum, you get 9 usually, but I'm giving you 3 additional ones as well. Yeah. And if you're here in the Bay Area, if you're a gold or platinum alumni or current student, or you buy the next couple of days, I'm renting this museum, which is amazing. You guys will love it, here in the Bay Area on December 18th. It's an annual alumni event. So you get to network with your fellow students. And we have great students. And if you're curious what it's like in terms of networking with students or student recommendations or comments in the program, whatever, just go to my YouTube channel. And then when you're at my YouTube channel, and it looks different for me, it does for you guys. So give me a second here. But when you're at my YouTube channel, you click this, and we're going to be taking this video down the next couple of days. This is a live webcast I did yesterday, and we barely advertised it. We're surprised, but a lot of people watched it. But I talked about finance here, and I teach you from scratch how to value companies, and I use a lot of props as well. I had a lot of fun with this. And then what happened was later on the call, a bunch of people joined that were current students. Yeah. So we got Ginny from Vietnam. She leveraged the networking stuff I talk about in the course and the financial statement analysis. She got a job, a 3-year contract at the biggest Australian bank as an investor. So you can see that. You can also see right here Peyton, who he's in the United States Navy. And he's in the MBA program, graduating this year as well. And so Peyton, he's made over $100,000 investing based on stuff we talk about. But I'm sure it's more based on his own stuff. Yeah. And he also got 2 job offers, and it's been great. And then Christina as well, who's El Presidente. She's amazing in my program as well. Yeah. So anyway, you can check this out if you want to. We got Khaled as well, who's Egyptian roots, like my dada. He lives in South Carolina. We have people all over the world, Yeah, every country represented. Yeah, so check it out if you want to. If you want, you can go through the index of this call as well, and just get clickable access to any time I talked about, I don't know, anything, kind of like with all my videos. So here I'm explaining evaluation of companies live. It was fun. I made a couple mistakes, but it was fun. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. So Patrick wrote, there's also an increased demand for e-bike. From most forecasts I've seen, the sector has great prospects. I don't know if we can discuss. Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah. And if you're one of the gold and platinum students, we can talk about it in one-on-ones or during class or during gold and platinum student MBA office hours that starts at 11:30 today or 11:20 today for a couple hours. Yeah. All right. My youngest kid, Dylan, he wants to get a motorized scooter. I'm like, there's no way, dude. I'm not going to let him do that. Yeah. He's a little bit older than that. He's like my little munchkin, though. He's great. He's starting to talk back now. Yeah. And I guess I can't fault him for being like me. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I was always respectful. Yeah. But I tell him, I say, look, kid, I brought you into this world. I can take you out of it and make another one just like you. No one will ever know the difference. I'm just kidding. I'm a fun dad. Yeah. All right. Let's see. If I miss any questions posted again, I'm up until 9:54 a.m. So 3 Rafi said, Chris, what do you think about the World Economic Forum slogan of "You will own nothing and be happy by 2030"? Oh, I don't like that. I've never heard of that before. I don't know what they're referring to. The world is slowly moving left wing, which I hate. I believe in freedom of the individual. My favorite license plate in the world is the license plate of the great state of New Hampshire, which on the bottom says "Live free or die." I believe in freedom of the individual. I believe my students can accomplish anything in life with no limits. I hate limits. I hate communism. I hate extreme left-wing politics. I'm not a right-wing nut, but I'm probably more of a libertarian. But that kind of slogan, I'm probably not a big fan of. You will own nothing and be happy by 2030. Yeah. All right. And I'll have to look into that. I've never heard of that saying before. Yeah. All right. Next up, Sarthik wrote, hey, Chris, this is an update on my relationship with my crush in college. The thing is that I couldn't talk to her often, and I don't know how to start a conversation, in fact, with not only her, but anyone. Yeah. And then you wrote here, can I get some tips on how to start a conversation with anyone without being awkward? Yeah, absolutely, dude. I feel your pain. I was you. I am you. So I'll tell you a story. So back at McGill University, in 1994, it was my fourth year. There was this woman that was brilliant, funny, gorgeous, so gorgeous that nobody talked to her. Like no guys would, yeah. And it was the fourth year. And I'm like, I got to do it, man. I built up my confidence a lot in university. It was fun. But I went up to her, and there was this charity event in the middle of campus by the McClellan Library at McGill. And I went up to her, and I started talking to her. I got my confidence up. And I was saying jokes and stuff as well, and she was laughing at my awful humor. You guys know it's awful. 20 minutes go by, we're still talking. And I didn't ask for her number. I was like, oh my God, I got to ask for a number. I had the confidence to talk to her. I got to ask for a number now. I'm like, but maybe it would ruin it if I asked for the number. And so we kept talking. 30 minutes go by. And she's laughing. I'm like, oh my God, am I dreaming? I'd pinch myself. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this guy walks up to us. And he's got long hair. He looks like Jim Morrison, right? He walks up to her. And she turns her back to me. And she starts talking to him. And I'm like, I was thinking to myself, what just happened there? You snooze, you lose. What happened? And so I turned to the guy, and she was laughing at his jokes. His jokes were awful, like worse than mine. So I turned to the guy, and this is at McGill, 1994. I said, "Hi, I'm Chris Haroun. Like I'm anybody, I'm nobody." And he goes, "Justin Trudeau." Dude, I got Heisman'd by a freaking Kennedy. I can't compete with that. Yeah. But the bottom line, and my wife is way, way better than her anyway. I can't remember her name. But screw you, Justin. He was nice. A little bit too confident, but nice. So the bottom line is you just got to tell yourself, I don't care what this person thinks. I'm just going to be me. And this is going to help me get that date, so to speak, or get anything in life. Because if you focus on what people think about you, you'll never reach your full potential. And it will cause you to over worry, which will age you and hurt your health. And Winston Churchill once said, "I met a man who on his deathbed talked about all the worries he had in his life, none of which came true." It's not work that kills us, it's worry. So get out there, man, and take that risk and tell yourself, I don't give a damn what people think of me. And think of elite athletes. When a baseball player is up to bat, right? I don't know if I like this new black shirt, but anyway, when a baseball player is up to bat, if the baseball player is so focused on what the millions of fans are thinking of him, he's going to strike out every time. You got to have horse blinders on and block out the whole world because their opinion doesn't matter. And as Dr. Seuss said, those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. You just got to say, I don't care. I'm just going to be myself. I'm just going to be me. The world can accept it or not, but I don't give a damn. And that will help you with your confidence as well. Try it with me, man. It's therapeutic. Get a piece of paper. Your homework today. Get a piece of paper. And on that piece of paper, what I want you to do is I want you to write down the following. I don't care about, and then put a line blank. Do that 10 times and fill in the blank. I don't care what people think of my hair. I don't care what people think of my massive nose, which is great. It's very aerodynamic, by the way, for skiing. Like I can kick anyone's ass in skiing when I talk. It's aerodynamic, yeah. I don't care what people think of my awful jokes. And they are awful, I know. I don't care what people think about anything of me. I don't care what people think of my career choice. Like for me, when I left venture capital and the hedge fund industry to teach, people are like, aren't you coming back? Do you want to come back? I got a job for you. I don't care. I don't care what people think. I don't care. I'm just going to be me. So remember, that's your homework, 10 times. I don't care what people think about blank. Write out 10 times and fill in the blank for all 10 things. And I promise you, once you get those awful thoughts out of your head in terms of insecurity like I was, of what people think of you, then and only then can you live your life in your own terms and reach your full potential. And all the best entrepreneurs are like this as well. They don't give a damn what people think of them. Elon Musk for years, he didn't care if people thought he was nutty for talking about colonizing Mars. He didn't care. Bill Gates and Paul Allen, God bless me, passed away, Paul Allen, but Bill Gates and Paul Allen, when they started Microsoft, people thought they were crazy. And day one, when they started Microsoft in the 70s, Bill Gates said, our goal is to have a personal computer on every desk in every house. And IBM at the time, and Digital Equipment Corporation at the time, DEC, which was bought by HP, which was bought by Compaq, then bought by HP. Those companies said there's only demand for maybe a handful of computers in the world. Gates and Allen didn't give a damn. They didn't care. You got to be the same way. You got to tell yourself, I don't give a damn what people think of me. I don't care what people think of my career choices. I don't care about anybody thinks about me. I'm just going to do what I want to do. And I'm going to be successful in my life because you get one shot at it. And this is my life, nobody else's. And you got to be the same thing as well when you ask people out on dates. You got to say, I don't give a damn if the person says no. Because I know if I ask 100 times, I will get my soulmate. And you only have to be right in relationships one time, and you only have to be right in business one time when you start your companies. So even when you start your companies, if you fail, so what? Keep trying, man. Keep trying. And in my MBA program, which you can access right here, what I do is I have a venture capital boot camp. It's fun. In the 3rd of 4 semesters. And as part of this venture capital boot camp, Maybe I'll make this my weekly image. Give me a second. I'm going to point here. You know the drill for my thumbnail. Yeah. I don't care what people think. Just kidding. So let me point here. Looks like I have no hand. I'll do it this way. And I'll smile. Hold on. There we go. So I'm going to line it up. I'm going to point and smile. Okay, that was at 10:10. I'll remember that. I don't care what people think of the fact that I just had the most cheesy thumbnail image pose there in the world. You got to tell yourself, I don't care what people think of me. I just don't care. And only then will you reach your full potential in life. And it's so damn therapeutic too. I'd love to have you join us in our MBA program. If you're interested, go to this link as well. And I have a lot of one-on-one coaching as well, which is fun. All right. And Sadiq said, hey, Chris, how are you? I'm always great. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. I'm a little busy today. Just came by to say hello. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Okay. Next up, Sarlik wrote, also, Chris, when I start research on cryptos, I just can't complete the research. In fact, I can't finish most of the work I started. How do I stop procrastinating? Yeah, well, first of all, I recommend reading a book on how to stop procrastinating, which I started years ago, but I never finished it. That was awful dad humor. I'm so sorry. So the best way to stop procrastinating is to stay busy. I'll tell you how in a second. So good. So if you want something to get done, give it to a busy person. And we all know what it's like when we're out of work or not going to school or on vacation, whatever. For some reason, we can't find the time that day to exercise. But we're not busy. You got to stay busy. And I teach you in my MBA program how to accomplish 10 times more every single day through an advanced daily schedule programming or a procedure that I allow you to download. It's a template. And I teach you how to do it in the orientation section at the very beginning of my MBA program. I promise you it works. Check it out here. We'd love to have you as part of the team as well when we start in January 10th. And you got to vocalize your goals. You got to tell people about your goals and vocalize them and set a deadline date. Because when you vocalize your goals, it puts pressure on you to achieve them. Like I remember years ago, I told my family and friends, hey, I'm writing a book. And so every time I saw them, and this is the book here, every time I saw them, they would say, so how's that book coming along? I was like, well, I guess I have to write it now. And so and then people said, when are you going to write it by? And I said, well, I'll set a deadline date by the end of November of 2015, which is when I wrote it. And so you vocalize your goal, you tell people about it, okay? And then what you also do is you set a deadline date. And most people give up their New Year's resolutions by the third week of January. And the reason is because they don't set a deadline date and they don't tell people about it. So that's what you got to do. And in my MBA program, I have lots of tips and tricks and frameworks, arrows in your quiver, tools in your toolbox, so to speak, so you can accomplish all of your own personal goals and career goals as well. And what I say here, and this is kind of harsh, but I say this with love in my heart, is when it comes to my MBA program, I can take you to the water, but I can't force you to drink. You have to practice with other students. And we have a great support system globally. All of our students love each other. They help each other out a lot as well, and they bond. And we know that in business and in life, relationships are more important than product knowledge. Yeah. All right. And then Muthu said, what's your view on the gold ETF? Yeah, ticker GLD. I like it. It's my go-to place to buy gold. It was my biggest long position in 2008. The fee is kind of high, I think around 0.49%, which means every $100 you put in, you pay 49 pennies in fees per year. But I don't mind that because if I go to a store to buy gold bars, I don't know if they're real. Plus, it's a hassle to store them, and I don't mind paying that fee. So my go-to investment for gold ETFs is GLD, which is just gold. Yeah, it's not an investment in companies; it's just an investment in gold. Yeah. All right. All right. All right, next question is from Kumaresan, who wrote, how do you talk to strangers without being shy? Yeah, and this is similar to a question I just answered earlier for Sarlik. Yeah, you got to tell yourself, I just don't care. It's so liberating. Try it with me. I don't care what people think of me. I don't care if people think I have a little eye twitch. It happens every now and then. I don't think it's an aneurysm. I don't think so. No, I'm good. I just don't care. I don't care what people think of my clothes. I don't care what people think of my hair. I look like that guy from The Sopranos. Remember that guy? You got to try it. You got to tell yourself, I don't care. And you will reach an insanely great level of awesomeness in your life. And you'll feel peace in your heart once you tell yourself that. Try it with me. It's like a light switch. I don't care. And write that down 10 times. I don't care what people think about my whatever, hair. I don't care what people think of my choice of career. I don't care what people think of my orientation. I don't give a damn. I'm going to live my life, and I'm going to make this world a better place by the time I leave it. And I don't care what people think about me. It works. I promise you it works. Try that out. All right. By the way, how's my hair look today? I'm just kidding. All right. All right. Next up, Cyrus wrote, Chris, I have the intention to open my own French as a second language tutoring service. I'm not sure how to do a good pricing for my tutoring service. Hopefully your SMC and entrepreneurship parts of the program help. Yeah, SMC stands for Sales, Marketing, Communications. Yeah. But I think what will help, more so is, to your point, the entrepreneurship side. So in the MBA program, we've got this, there's a venture capital boot camp in the third semester. That will help you a lot. And if you do the platinum program, or gold, if you sign up today, you get one-on-ones with me as well. And I'll walk through walls to help you. I'll do whatever it takes. Yeah. All right. And then Sarlik wrote, are you kidding me? You study with a PM? Wow. Yeah, Prime Minister Trudeau. Yeah. His last name helped him to become Prime Minister. You know that, right? Yeah. Craziness. I couldn't compete with him, man. He got the girl. He's like a Kennedy. I can't compete with like JFK Jr. You know what I mean? Like it's hard. It's hard. Yeah. It's kind of a funny story though. Okay. Next up, Lionel wrote, it is an exercise in the MBA course. Yes, the one I talked about. Yep, exactly. All right. Next up, I got Ryan who wrote, Chris, thank you so much again. The email should be at your support at... Okay, yeah, I'll look for that. Yeah. And I'll answer within a couple days. I'm so backlogged right now. I'm so sorry. Yeah. And by the way, if anybody sends me emails or LinkedIn messages or stuff I don't respond to, I can't keep up. I'm so sorry. I get just a gazillion inbounds. So the best way to reach me is always here. Or if you're in my Platinum and Gold program, which you can register for right here, you can reach me directly always. Yeah, thank you. But I will look out for that email to my support at harounventures.com email account. Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Ahmed. How are you? Ahmed wrote, Chris, thank you for all the work you do. My pleasure. Thank you for being here, Ahmed. I wanted to get your view on an investment analyst career on the buy side, as I'm currently a sophomore in college, trying my best to land an internship. Yeah. Join the MBA program. Take the Platinum program. I promise you'll learn more than you're learning in school about investment management and the buy side, meaning hedge funds or mutual funds. And I'll help you get that role. I'll create your resume and LinkedIn profile with you live during our one-on-ones. And what I'll also do is I'll coach you on how to interview. Yeah. Okay. All right. And then Ahmed wrote, I'm trying to learn as much as I can about valuation, risk, modeling, and portfolio management currently. Yeah. And I cover all that stuff in my MBA program in a lot of details. And I'd love to have you join us. Yeah. Cool. Peter, how are you? Peter just joined. Peter was on the call yesterday. He's from Romania. He's 18 years old. He's a big football fan. You had to leave the Zoom call yesterday to go watch the game, and I hope your team won. Yeah. And then Cyrus said, thank you, Chris. You're most welcome. Okay, cool. So I'm going to wrap it up. I want to thank you all for your time. If you're in my Gold and Platinum program, I will see you in MBA office hours for Gold and Platinum students only very soon today. If not, I'd love to have y'all join as well. to sign up for the MBA Degree Program, please go down here and sign up at harounventures.com. Coffee's in the way. Here you go. Early access, as I've got $500 off and a bunch of free bonuses as well, including 3 additional one-on-one meetings with me if you're in gold or platinum even. So sign up for it. This special offer ends in 4 days. Thanks again, and I'll see you next Thursday and every Thursday forever, starting at 8 a.m. Thank you. Stay safe. And I always end my videos with a video I licensed from the Silicon Valley Historical Association that is going to inspire you. Here it is. Thanks again.
When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is. Your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it, that's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just going to live in it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. I think that's very important. And however you learn that, once you learn it, you'll want to change life and make it better, because it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again.